evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Delta Dental Stadium for the Division II Boys New Hampshire Baseball Championship game between the Goffstown Grizzlies and the Portsmouth Clippers. Along with Steve Beal and Trevor Santoro on the camera, I'm Mike Santoro. We're going to be bringing you play-by-play. Portsmouth comes into this game as only one loss in the season, 17-1. Goffstown has a current record of 18-3. The teams met once back in May over at Portsmouth's home field, and Portsmouth was a 6-2 victor in that game. Steve, beautiful night for baseball.
It doesn't get much prettier than this, and it's a beautiful stadium as well, but it's just a beautiful night for ball here.
And we just, for those of you who aren't aware, we just watched the Exeter game. Exeter, two-time champion now. They defeated Bedford 6-2 in the Division I final. And we're going to get ready as they're going to do the starting lineup. So we're going to have Steve bring you the starting lineups for both teams.
All righty, so thank you, Mike. And first of all, for the visiting Grizzlies, the number 2 seed, they come into play. They had a 15-3 regular season record. They're 3-0 in the postseason, so 18-3. Leading off and pitching is number 5, Connor Hyzak. Batting second, playing shortstop, number 11, Clay Campbell. Batting third is the first baseman, number 9, Justin Pinard. Batting cleanup, the catcher, number 4, Tyler Santoro. Batting fifth and playing third base, number 16, Taylor French. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 8, Bobby Doherty. Batting seventh will be the right fielder, number 14, Will Susi. Batting eighth for Goffstown will be the second baseman, number 10, Ethan Smith. And batting ninth, the center fielder for the Grizzlies, number 2, Carter Schwannard. They're the visiting team, and as I said, Connor Hyzak will be on the hill for Goffstown in this game against Portsmouth. Portsmouth comes in the number 1 seed, 15-1 regular season. They're 2-0 in the postseason, having a bye in the first round. They've come from behind in both of their tournament victories so far, and they're back in the final game for the third consecutive year in Division II. Their lineup is Cal Hewitt, the center fielder, number 1, will be leading off. Batting second, number 2, Max Malilla, the shortstop. Batting third for Portsmouth, Peyton Goodrich, number 20. He's the first baseman. Batting cleanup is the designated hitter, Jack Russo, number 22. He's hitting for number 10, Trevor Van Allen, who's the starting pitcher, the ace of the Clippers staff. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 14, Miles Sargent. Batting sixth will be the third baseman, Hunter LaRue Porter. He's number 13. Batting seventh, number 3, Drew Hudson, playing right field. Batting eighth, Aaron Lundgren. He's playing left field. He's number 5. And then batting ninth for Portsmouth is the catcher, Jacob Grant, number 15. Those are the starting lineups for both clubs. And just a note, too, I saw a tweet earlier. I usually only look at Twitter when games are going on, but today's Division I and II final games feature 4 starting pitchers who will all be going to play Division I baseball next year. Exeter had Cleach was pitching today, who's going to the University of Maine, and then Masseau was pitching for Bedford, who's going to St. John next year. Masseau got hit pretty hard in the first game, giving up, I think, 7 or 8 hits in the first 2+ innings. And then in this game, Trevor Van Allen, who had been originally signed to go play at the University of Rochester, I've heard an update that he's going to play Division I at University of Buffalo. And then Connor Hyzak, just a sophomore, is committed to go play at Rutgers. So should be some good pitching in this one as well.
Yeah, quite an accomplishment for Connor Hyzak, only being a sophomore and already being committed to Rutgers University, like you said. So the PA announcer is announcing the lineups now. Goffstown was just announced. They're standing down the first base line. Here comes Portsmouth. So as you were doing that, Steve, I went back in my book and got my notes from the first game, and the lineup is very similar to what Portsmouth had in the first game. Mitch Skokie pitched that game for Goffstown. A very close game. It was the final score was 6-2, but Portsmouth put up 4 runs in the second inning. Some pretty shoddy defense by Goffstown there, and they made a couple of errors in that inning, which led to the 4 runs.
I had all 4 of those runs as being unearned when I was at the game. As a matter of fact, I think I had calculated that as 5 of their 6 runs were unearned in that contest at Leary Field in Portsmouth.
Right, and that game was some time back. The Goffstown lineup has changed pretty drastically since then. Ethan was the leadoff batter for that game, and Connor was batting third, and now Ethan is batting eighth, and Connor's batting first. So it's a lot of changes in the Goffstown lineup from what we had way back in May at Leary Field, like you said. Goffstown was 6-0 at the time. I think Portsmouth was 6-1 at the time. So they handed Goffstown their first defeat.
Yeah, Portsmouth, in all honesty, of all the games I've seen, and I think I've seen all but one or maybe two games of the regular season, or of all of the season games, post and regular season for Goffstown. This Portsmouth team, I felt, was the one team, or more so the team of any, that you couldn't make a mistake against and get away with it.
Yeah, and they've certainly shown that, even in the game against Hanover. Oh, we're going to have the national anthem now, so. Beautiful rendition of the national anthem there to get this crowd going. Goffstown is in their home whites. Portsmouth chose to wear maroon today, so Goffstown has been wearing their white uniforms the entire postseason. Let's hope they get the same result that they've had the first three games, Steve.
Yeah, you can't ask for a much better start than what they've been. You know, they're 3-0 in three postseason games. They were 11-2 versus the tournament field in the regular season. That's pretty impressive to me. I know a lot of teams make it out of the 22 or so in the division, but 14-2 against teams that made the tournament is pretty. It's a pretty strong showing of how deep and how good your ball club is.
Yeah, and we mentioned that earlier. We mentioned in the last broadcast that the three Goffstown losses came to one to Portsmouth, two to Hanover, and the third was to Bedford, Division I team, who lost for just the second time of the year a short time ago to Exeter.
Yeah, Bedford played Exeter in the championship game of Division I last year and lost 7-6, and then Exeter was able to repeat as champions this year and beat Bedford again in the final 6-2, and that was Bedford's third straight Division I title appearance, and that's what we're seeing here too. Portsmouth is now in their third consecutive championship game at Division II. They split the last two, winning last year against Souhegan 5-0 and losing to Souhegan the year before. In 2016, they lost 2-1. And these are two programs that certainly have rich baseball tradition, rich baseball history, and certainly since the turn of the century, the year 2000, this is the 8th championship game appearance since 2000 for Portsmouth. It's also the 8th championship game appearance for Goffstown since 2000, and so I don't know how else you spell solid program better than that, where both these teams have played in, you know, they've appeared in pretty much half the final games in Division II since 2000. Yeah,
and you mentioned 3 in a row now for Portsmouth. Goffstown's first appearance since 2015, where they come up on the short side of that one. They did win the state championship in 2014, so they failed to repeat in 15. But first appearance since 2015, 10 seniors on this team looking to go out with the bang. And we have sophomore Connor Hyzak to start us off today, Steve. And I've been excited all day for this. I've had butterflies, and now it's game time. So we can put all that behind us, and we can get going. Trevor Van Allen steps on the rubber. The umpire puts the ball in play, and here comes the first pitch. Curveball is in there for a strike.
There we are. I've got 7:26 is the start time for this one. First pitch off speed strike.
That misses inside. So we apologize off the bat. We don't have our overlay working on our camera right now. So we'll try to give you a little bit more detail as we go through. It's 1-1 count to Connor Hyzak.
We try to use the overlay in the more important games. So
yeah, we don't want to. Why would you want it now? Connor swings and hits a foul ball down the right field line. It's going to get into the stands. Still got some sun out there on right field. Actually, most of the outfield is in the sun. The center fielder, right field, the left fielder is kind of in a little bit of both. Shade almost completely covering the infield.
Yeah, we're down to about 68 degrees. It's a crisp day. This could easily be a late September evening, just as well as it could be June.
Curveball misses in the dirt, so count goes to 2-2. Yeah, it's going to get a little chilly at the end of this one, but there's a little bit of a breeze. We do have a second camera, so when you see this on television, you're going to have all kinds of views. Actually, we have 3 cameras. We have a GoPro and 2 cameras. So here's the 2-2 by Van Allen, and he strikes him out. So Hyzak goes down looking. Good pitch, good curveball, had him fooled there. Had him off balance, so good start for Van Allen.
Well, you can see there, Van Allen with the breaking ball, it really is more of a sweeping type of a curveball. You've got some up and down, but certainly some right to left, or depending on which view you're looking at it. But that cane was thrown at Hyzak, broke over the plate.
Clay Campbell now, and here's a strike, a fastball.
So Van Allen, I was reading just today, is committed to go play at the University of Buffalo.
Curveball, and Clay hits a line drive down the right field line. It's going to go foul. Nice piece by Clay Campbell, who's been struggling just a little bit in these playoffs. He's hitless in the 3 games so far, but he's been making some good contact as of late, and that was the best I've seen in the 3 games so far.
That was probably the best swing I've seen out of him in the postseason, and given the fact that was an off-speed pitch breaking into him, he almost was still able to keep his hands inside the baseball there and hit that down the line fair.
So he's in an 0-2 hole here. Van Allen fastball misses low and outside. 1-2 to count. This is actually my first broadcast sitting down, Steve. I usually stand for these.
I like standing too, but I've had the knee surgeries and sitting helps.
Curveball, and he tops one off the plate. That's going to be a tough play. He runs well. Long throw, and he's got him. Great play by the third baseman there. That's Hunter LaRue Porter.
Yep.
That was a tough ball. It hit the plate and bounced very high, but he was able to get Clay. So Justin Pernard's going to step in now from the left side. Justin was 2 for 4 in the game against Kennett. He's 4 for 7 in the playoffs so far. He missed the second game. He was off at school orientation at Maine Maritime. And he takes a pitch inside for a ball.
Looks like a pretty good crowd here for the Goffstown side. Both sides represented fairly well. There was a big crowd for the first game with the Bedford playing Exeter.
And he fouls one right back over us. 1-1 the count to Justin. Tyler Santoro in the on-deck circle.
That wind's blowing across from right to left pretty strong. I think anything up in the right side might hang up.
In curveball, and he fists it. Foul down the right field line. It's going to go into the bullpen, and a lucky fan grabs it. Not sure if they have to throw the tournament balls in, Steve, if they get to keep them as souvenirs, or if they have to throw those back. No one's running down there for it.
No.
See a kid running down there. Maybe he's going to give it to the kid. So 1-2 to Justin now. Here comes the pitch, and that misses high and outside.
So Van Allen started against Goffstown when Goffstown played out at Portsmouth, and if I recall, he went 6 innings in that game and looked pretty strong.
Yep, he went 6 innings, just let up 1 run, and that 1 run was scored in the 6th. Curveball, Justin hits a little pop-up, third baseman under it, and Goffstown goes out 1-2-3 in the first inning. So that's the start you're looking for if you're Trevor Van Allen. 14-pitch inning, 3 outs, and now Hyzak has to come out and try to match that.
Yeah, some tentative swings taken there, but, I guess if there's a positive there, 14 pitches to get a 1-2-3 inning is not exactly efficient. So maybe that wears on a little bit later on. And plus, he's had to throw the bulk of the innings in the postseason for Portsmouth as well. So,
yeah, we can only hope. We hope he tires early, but he looks pretty strong out there so far.
He's a good pitcher. He's got 2 or 3 pitches he throws at any point in the count. He throws them confidently, and he's pretty polished as far as that goes.
And then we have Connor Hyzak taking his warm-up tosses right now. It's Goffstown defensively. Justin Pernard at first. Ethan Smith at second. Clay Campbell at short. Taylor French at third. Bobby Doherty in left. Carter Schwannard in center. And Will Susi in right field. Tyler Santoro behind the dish. He's been a staple there all year long. Connor Hyzak, big game pitcher. He pitched the first game of these playoffs against Pembroke, a game which Goffstown won 10-0. I'm sorry, he pitched the second game against Wyndham. A game that Goffstown won 3-1.
Right.
Taylor French pitched the first game and the third game.
Taylor had 2 outstanding outings in the postseason.
Yes, he did. Shutout in the first game and 1 run in the last game. Goffstown's only let up 2 runs. They're defensively only let up 2 runs so far in the playoffs.
Actually, Taylor didn't allow that run in the Kennett game either. That came in the
That's right.
7th.
That came against Mitchell Skokie,
Yeah.
so Taylor is yet to be scored upon. Good point. And everybody is available for this game, so I think you'll see these coaches if the pitchers get into trouble, especially Van Allen, where you said he's pitched so much. If he gets into early trouble, they'll probably start going to their bullpen. So last 2 pitches, Connor's tried to snap off a curveball, and that has no luck. So hopefully his curveball's better when he's actually throwing it to somebody.
These 2 teams, like I said earlier, rich history in baseball, especially in the last 20 years for both of these programs. Portsmouth is appearing in their 14th championship game in the history of New Hampshire baseball. They're 11-2 in finals. Goffstown is appearing in their 13th championship game. These are since records were kept in 1948. They're 5-7 in championship final games. So 2 teams that have been around and doing this for a while.
So the center fielder, Cal Hewitt, is going to step in. There's the first pitch by Hyzak. He fakes a bunt and takes a ball.
The game we played Portsmouth out there, I was in center field watching that game, so I was right behind Hewitt. And he's like having another coach on the field. That kid keeps everybody on their toes.
Fastball for a strike. Sorry, Steve.
And I think he hit the baseball probably better than anybody else in the lineup that day as well.
So 1-1 count to Hewitt's curveball. Nice pitch. So he was able to break that one off nicely.
Yeah. Warm-ups in the real thing. He got it over in the real time.
So 1-2 now to Hewitt. See what Connor comes in with. And he hits him. So he come in with the fastball and he hit him. So there's the first base run. Connor's trying to say that he put his shoulder into that. I don't think he's going to win that argument.
Yeah, they're not letting.
He did win the argument. So he did win the argument. It did look like he dipped his shoulder into that, Steve. And I was going to say something, and Connor did, and the umpire agrees with him. So that's considered a strike, isn't it? I mean, like a foul ball. It's not a ball, is it? I don't know. They still have 1-2 on the board, so that was the 4th pitch. So let's see if they make it 2-2 or not.
Yeah,
it's got to be something.
That part I don't know. I think it should be a ball.
It should be a ball. 2-2. Yeah, it's 2-2. So
I watch a lot of college softball, and this happens quite often in the women's game. Honestly.
Here's a ground ball to short. Clay came in, now backs up. He's got to hurry, and that's not going to make it. It's going to get by Justin, and it goes there. Tyler backs it up. He throws to second base. A good throw, but it's off the mark. So Clay took his time. I'm not sure how they're going to score that. It was definitely a throwing error. I don't think he would have had him, though.
He definitely beat that out. Once he allowed that second hop to bounce, there's no chance
he didn't have a
of throwing
chance.
him out.
So they got an error on the board. They don't have a hit, so it looks like they're scoring it as a 2-base error on Clay Campbell.
That's got to be corrected. That's a base hit all the way.
Yeah, actually they are changing it. So they're going to change that to a single and an error. So quickly, Portsmouth has a runner on second base with nobody out. And great speed out there by Hewitt. Yeah, you knew he was in trouble, Steve. He started coming in, and then he decided to back up on it. If he came in, I think he would have been better off.
Well, the thing of it is, as well, Hewitt changed his mind about 3 times. He rounded the bag, then didn't go, then did go.
Sure.
And if we make a throw right on the bag there,
he might have been out.
Might have been out.
Yeah, I mean, Will came in and he tried to get there. Tyler was backing up, but the ball went up the line, so it's a long run for Tyler. So let's see how Goffstown handles this. He takes a curveball outside. So 1-1 now.
Shortstop Max Malila.
Yep. Thank you. I thought I said that. So he squared the first time but didn't bunt.
You may have, but I don't listen to much of what you say anyways, Mike.
Nobody does, apparently.
Oh, you know how these things go, especially at the high school level. These games go by. When you're trying to do a book and call the game and keep track of this, that, and the other thing and look at your notes that you had, the game goes by awfully fast.
Yeah, and we were trying to get our overlay working, and we're having no luck with it. So a lot of things, we've done. This is our 16th broadcast, the 131st broadcast this year for Goffstown TV, and probably the first game that the overlay doesn't work.
That's an awesome, monumental effort by the Volunteers, though, for GTV.
Fastball for a strike. So it's 1-2 to Malila. Yeah, I was talking to Adam about that, and it's just the Goffstown community is just unbelievable when it comes to that. I mean, you said it earlier, the Goffstown contingency that's here, but the way the Volunteers stepped up for GTV this year has been amazing. Here comes the 1-2 curveball, and he fouls it off at the plate. So the count hangs at 1-2.
Not a cloud in the sky, Mike. It's a beautiful night to play baseball. Couldn't
ask for a better night, Steve. The lights are on. We'll be, it doesn't get dark for another hour anyway. It's 7:37, but the sun goes down about 8:30, 8:45 these days. So, but it'll be great under the lights. 1-2 now. Hyzak looking in, takes a look at Hewitt. Now he turns, fakes a throw there. Hewitt's got great speed. You got to look out for him.
Great venue. He's a good base runner too. Just watching him and his mannerisms, he's a good ball player, Hewitt.
Outside for a ball. So Hyzak 10 pitches in already. Runner on second base and yet to record an out so far. Hewitt's not straying too far over there at second base. Hyzak looks in, now looking at Hewitt again. Here comes the pitch. Fastball misses outside, so the count runs full now. I wouldn't be surprised if he walks him to see a visit to the mound to settle his young pitcher down here, whether it comes from Coach Lawrence or Tyler.
This is when you need to just slow things down a bit.
Here comes the pitch. Fastball misses outside, so he's walked Malila, so there's first and second with no outs. And striding up to the plate is Peyton Goodrich. Peyton is the first baseman. In the first matchup versus Goffstown, he was 0 for 2, had a sac fly. So first and second, and Portsmouth threatening already here in the first. Pitch misses outside. He seems to be missing outside with that curveball, Steve.
Yeah, the first batter, before he hit him with the pitch that wasn't called a hit by pitch, he threw a couple of good curveballs where he worked the ball from in to out. But now these are starting too much the plate and then
fastball misses outside. Nice stop by Tyler.
Working off the plate completely.
I'd like to see somebody go talk to him. I'd like to see Tyler call timeout right here and go talk to him. 2-0 here. He's on the verge of, possibly walking the bases loaded here.
2-0 count, 2 on, nobody out.
3-hitter up. He's got a green light, I'm sure. Here comes a 2-0 to Goodrich, and that's a strike. So Hyzak now 15 pitches deep in this outing so far, and he has a 2-1 count on the number 3 hitter, Peyton Goodrich. Runners on first and second for Portsmouth. Here comes the 2-1. Fastball misses outside. Looks like he's overthrown a little bit, Steve.
Yeah, it doesn't look as smooth with his delivery as we've seen him throughout the season. Maybe a little bit of nerves kicking in there. But so far, everything has been grossly away.
Fouled straight back through that fastball right down the middle, and Goodrich missed it. So full count now here. Big pitch. This is already a big pitch in the ball game. You don't want to walk the bases loaded here. I think you have to challenge them and just let your defense help you out. You can't risk loading the bases
well, this
here.
is what we saw when we played Portsmouth in the season. You get yourself in these situations, and they are very good at capitalizing on those mistakes, but sometimes you just got to challenge.
Fastball misses way outside, so he's now walked the bases loaded, and now Tyler calls time, and here comes Lopez out of the dugout. So bases loaded and no outs for Portsmouth in the bottom half of the first inning. And Goffstown could be in big trouble here already.
Yeah, this isn't how you want to draw up the start to the championship game.
Nope, not what you were looking for. He's already 18 pitches in, and you mentioned how Van Allen threw 14 to get 3 outs. Isaac's already thrown 18 and hasn't recorded an out yet. So he's walked 2 batters. He hit one, but it didn't count as a hit because Hewitt put a shoulder into it, but ended up singling, and an errant throw by Clay got him to second base. Hewitt's now at third, Malila at second, Goodrich at first, and what they need right here, Steve, is a ground ball to the pitcher.
Yeah, that'd be handy. Jack Russo, the cleanup hitter, batting, the DH.
Russo with a big stance, holds the bat down low, now brings it up. Isaac working from the stretch. Here comes the pitch. Fastball strike on the outside corner. Probably the best pitch he's thrown so far right there. A nice fastball, outside corner.
Well, Connor has good stuff, and he's really, if he can get himself settled down here and trust his stuff, that's really the way to go, because he can compete with just what his mix is.
The 0-1 pitch misses low in the dirt. Tyler with a nice stop again. So it's 1-1 now to Goodrich. I'm sorry, to Russo. Goodrich is at first. Justin in on the grass. Taylor French a half step behind the grass at third base. Pitch misses outside. Tyler tried to bring it in. So there he goes missing again, Steve, outside, as you said earlier. Seems to be missing everything outside.
Yep.
So 2-1 now the count. Don't want to go 3-1 here to the number 4 hitter where you have to groove him a fastball with the bases loaded.
Goffstown's got the corners in. Middle infield at double play depth.
Fastball misses outside again. That one looked like it grabbed a little bit more of the plate, but now it's 3-1. He's in danger of walking a run home.
Yeah, that was closer, but I would say that was still off the plate.
Well, when you're missing out there, Steve, the umpire's not going to give you that. So here comes the 3-1 to Russo, and that misses high and outside, and he's walked 3 consecutive batters, and Portsmouth is ahead 1-0. And I wonder how long it's going to take before Goffstown gets somebody up in the bullpen. Not sure if Taylor would be the first one in or if it would be Mitchell. Taylor's playing third base, so he can't warm up. So Portsmouth has brought 4 batters to the plate so far. One has singled and reached second on an error, and then 3 consecutive walks. So here comes Miles Sargent now, the second baseman, number 14, the 5-hitter. 4 consecutive batters have reached so far. There's the pitch, and that's way outside. Connor is really struggling right here. And the coach can't come out because that'll be the second visit of the inning, and he'd have to come out of the game. So he's already thrown 24 pitches here.
Sometimes these are the ones you've got to work through them.
And that misses high and outside. So
everything's going. He's throwing everything glove side. He's not able to command anything, or at least if he is, he hasn't tried to command anything on the arm side. And I know it's the first inning, but it's so important to be able to throw to both sides of the plate, because right now those guys can get up there hitting one side.
And there's a pitch for a strike. He took his hat off. He thinks he's being squeezed a little bit, but I don't think he is. I mean, we're sitting right behind the plate, and it looks like he's just off the plate. I mean, yes, he's missing. It looks like it's just off the plate, though. Here comes the 2-1, and that pitch is in the dirt. Tyler makes the stop. The ball rolls just by him, but not far enough for the runner to advance. So now he's in the hole again, 3-1 here to Miles Sargent, and he's in danger of walking the 4th consecutive hitter. Derek Stekowicz is moving around down there. No, he's just getting a drink of water. I thought maybe he'd be heading for the bullpen. Here comes the 3-1, and that misses way outside, and he's now walked 4 consecutive batters. And Mitchell Skokie just picked up his glove. He may be heading to the bullpen. So this is definitely not the start that we wanted to see, Steve.
No, not at all. And the thing of it is, this line is so thin, right? It could be, both teams are saying it only takes 1, right? Portsmouth saying it only takes 1. Somebody hits a base clearing double somewhere. Goffstown saying it only takes 1 and get a comebacker, hit a corner infielder and turn 2 and start getting their way out of this thing.
That pitch misses high and outside again. So Mitchell Skokie just went down to the Goffstown bullpen. I'd imagine he's going to start throwing in earnest down there. Time is called on the field.
Goffstown brings the infield into the edge of the grass.
Clay's coming in. Up now, Clay's going to go talk to Connor. Someone's got to slow him down. This is a good move by Clay. Connor, you can see by his expression, he thinks he's being squeezed a little bit, but Steve, from our vantage point, and we have a great one today, right behind the umpire, he's not missing by much, but he is missing.
Yeah, he certainly hasn't been crisp.
There's a strike.
And we saw in the Kennett game at Southern New Hampshire University last week that the opposite works in reverse as well, where Taylor French was able to command that outside corner, and he got calls all day long.
There's another strike,
but he was able to hit it consistently, and the umpire said, I don't want to put words in his mouth,
right.
but certainly was getting the calls accordingly, and he was proving that he was able to do it time and time again.
Time called at the plate. This is Hunter LaRue Porter, the batter, the third baseman, number 13. So Portsmouth with the bases loaded still and nobody out. 1-2 count to LaRue Porter. Curveball hits a ground ball to Justin. Justin's going to come home. He's got the play at the plate, and that's all they're going to get. So LaRue Porter reaches on a fielder's choice. Peyton Goodrich is out 3-2, and Goffstown has recorded their first out of the game. So that's what you wanted to see. You wanted a ball hit to a corner infielder, just like you said, Steve. LaRue Porter runs well. No chance to double him up. Tyler did the right thing by just eating the ball. So you got Drew Hudson batting now, the right fielder, number 3. A 7-hitter. This is a spot where you might want to bunt. But you know what, though, Steve? I don't know if I want to take Hyzak out of this. I mean, he's got to show that he can throw strikes consistently. And that misses way outside. It gets by Tyler. The runner's coming. A good throw would get him. Oh, and the ball got by Connor. Tyler threw it, but it got by Connor. He pump faked. He pumped it, didn't see Connor there, and then the throw got by him. So a wild pitch scores Jack Russo, and it's 3-0 Portsmouth. So Goffstown is imploding here in the first inning.
Well, they look like they're playing tight. I mean, Clay pumped on his throw to first and threw wildly. Tyler pumped on that throw there. I don't know if he thought Connor wasn't in position to play that. I mean, he had the baseball. The kid was still halfway down the line.
Mm-hmm. There's a strike.
That's got to be an out, probably 9 times out of 10.
So it's a 1-1 count here. First pitch was a ball in the dirt. So runners on second and third now. Curveball for a strike. So
see, there's the difference. Connor thinks that fastball lands there, it's going to be a strike, but there's a big difference with a sweeping curveball that catches some plate and ends up off the plate there where they get the call for the strike. The fastball is not a strike there.
Fastball, there's a pop-up, and the infield was in, and it's going to fall behind Ethan Smith. So that's going to score a run. Susie throws it in.
Misses the cutoff.
And the runner goes to second base. So Drew Hudson with the base hit, a bad decision by Will Susie to try to come home, and he takes second base. So Russo scores, and Sargent scores, and it's 4-0 Portsmouth, and there's only one out in second and third.
Right.
And the number 8 here, Aaron Lundgren, the left fielder, is now batting.
Russo scored on the wild pitch, and Sargent scored there on the hit.
Oh, right,
Hudson.
only 1 run scored, you're right.
And Hunter LaRue Porter moved up to third.
That pitch misses outside. I think this may be his last batter, though, Steve.
Yeah,
he's got no command here. He's almost through the entire lineup. Mitchell is throwing hard down there now. And that misses outside.
It almost looks like Connor is resigned to just throwing right now, not pitching, and that's not a good look.
Sign. Nope. 38 pitches in so far. We have 1 out in second and third, and that misses high. So
and he's not gaining any favor with the home plate umpire either.
Nope, not with his mannerisms. The ball from the dugout just came rolling all the way down here. I'm thinking this is going to be his last batter, and then you're going to put Mitchell into a tough spot with bases loaded, 1 out. But yeah, Hyzak's just rearing back and throwing right now. And you got a great pitcher on the mound, as you said, for Portsmouth. Their ace. There's a strike on pitch number 40. Trevor Van Allen, and he doesn't really need a 4 spot. Similar situation the first time these two teams played, but it was the second inning where Goffstown led up to 4 runs. And that pitch misses way outside, so he's now walked his 5th batter of the inning. And Lawrence is turning like he's going to come out. He's walking down the end of the dugout. Not sure.
And
looks like he's going to have him pitch one more. No, he's making his way up the stairs now and stops. And it looks like he's coming. He's at the top of the step. It looks like he's trying to get somebody's attention, but Jacob Grant is now the batter, the catcher, and the 9th hitter to bat so far this inning. Goffstown double play depth in the middle. The corners are in on the grass.
I don't know about you, Mike, but I think our outfield is playing way too deep.
A little deep for a 9-hitter right now.
Well, and it's a big field.
Fastball for a strike, yeah. They have to get out of it here, Steve. They have to stop the bleeding. Another run or two, and this might be insurmountable in the first inning.
Yeah.
Fastball misses high.
Well, the thing, too, is you don't want to there's a lot of mental part that goes into this game, too, and you don't want to start losing kids or fight in the kids right in the first inning.
Fastball for a strike, and it's 1-2 now. You're right. I mean, they have to come together. It's only the first inning. No matter how many the runs end up being here in the first inning, it's still just the first inning, and they have plenty of time. They could still bat.
Right, and that's not an indictment on anybody. That's just a hard, cold fact of being down 4 runs or more to the best team in the state.
Right.
And then trying to, stay mentally tough to chip away.
Ground ball that hits the plate, so it's a high hopper. It's in no man's land. Ethan with the play.
Nice
Great play by
Ethan.
Ethan.
Nice play by Ethan.
It gets a
Smith.
run across. Great play there. So Jacob Grant is out 4-3, but he gets an RBI. A successful out as LaRue Porta scores, and it's 5-0 Portsmouth. And now it's second and third, and Cal Hewitt, who led this off, seems like for an eternity ago, 9 batters ago. So with 2 hits, Portsmouth has a 5-run lead.
Yep. 2 hits.
5 walks.
1 error.
And a single and an error. Fastball outside misses. I haven't seen Connor struggle like this in all the years I've watched him pitch, and I've been watching him since Little League. Fastball, swing and a miss for a strike. I think that's the first swing and miss of the game so far, Steve. He hasn't thrown many strikes that they've had a swing at.
That's a good point. So Portsmouth has runners at second and third. They've got 5 runs in already, 2 outs.
Curveball, he hits a fly ball to left field that's going to twist foul and go out of play. He jumped on that curveball.
Got him out front
there.
there.
Way ahead of it. Yep.
Wasn't able to keep that ball fair.
So it's 1-2 now to Hewitt. Portsmouth has been batting for about 15 minutes. Curveball, he hits a fly ball, high fly ball. Doherty drifts back, now comes in, and he makes the catch, and Goffstown is finally out of the inning. So a very damaging inning for Portsmouth. They put up a big 5 spot, and Goffstown now has some work to do.
They certainly do, but if there is a silver lining there, as you said, Mike, it's the first inning, and there's a lot of time left in this game, and they've just got to battle and do the things that they do well all year that's led to the point of being in this game. And that's, we've seen them, the game against Kennett's ace, they were patient. They took a lot of walks, more walks than we're used to seeing them take, and had some timely hitting. And certainly against Wyndham, they didn't get any free passes really in that game, but they came up with some big hits. So there's more than one way to do it. And we just saw Portsmouth put up 5 runs with only getting 2 base hits, and neither one of them were well struck.
Right. The first one's a ground ball to short that if he comes in, he may have him at first base, and the other one was a looper over a drawn-in infield. So you're right. They haven't actually been crushing the ball, but when you get 5 walks in a base hit and an extra base on an error, Hyzak threw 50 pitches that inning, and I would you probably have it. I would love to know his ball to strike ratio there. I'm sure it wasn't very good. I would be shocked if he was 50-50.
Yeah,
no
give me
way.
a few minutes, I'll figure that out. But
I would imagine he's more like 60% balls. But, Goffstown has to scratch and claw back. If they can get a run or 2 here and, make it a game, you don't want it to get too late. But if they can get, if all goes well, they have 6 more at-bats, right, before Portsmouth scores 5 more runs. Hopefully Portsmouth won't score 5 more runs, but – you may have 6 more at-bats. If you get 2 runs an inning, or even 1 run an inning, that's enough to overcome this lead. So here's Tyler Santoro batting now, and he takes a curveball inside for a ball. Tyler has been one of the hottest hitters in the Goffstown lineup. He's 5 for 10 in the postseason. Van Allen pitches and swing and a miss by Tyler. Count is now 1-1.
So, Mike, I had 23 strikes, 27 balls.
Yikes, that's not a good number.
Out of 50.
Fastball low, misses, so it's 2-1 now to Tyler. 27 balls, 23 strikes out of 50 pitches. So that's 54% balls. Curveball misses outside. So there's the patience you were talking about, Steve, that Goffstown displayed in the Kennett game. So Tyler now 3-1, and Van Allen just threw a curveball, so he's probably going to throw a fastball here. He does, and misses terribly outside. So now Goffstown has their first base runner. So maybe, as we said, Steve, the persistence and the patience now. Van Allen, I mean, the worst thing you want to do right here is go out and start walking people. You just got put up a 5 spot with 2 hits and been a gifted 5-run lead. You don't have to overthrow. You just got to throw strikes at this point. You just don't want to walk anybody. So here's Taylor French now, the third baseman.
Every baseball coach in the world just said you don't want to walk.
You don't want to walk the leadoff batter after putting up 5 runs. And Taylor takes a ball down low. So Van Allen, very uncharacteristically here, has thrown 5 balls of his first 6 pitches. So, I don't understand, what you're doing at this point if you're Van Allen. Here comes the pitch, and that misses high. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see a visit coming soon here from the catcher, Jacob Grant, or the bench. You get out there and settle this pitcher down. Yes, he's a senior. Yes, he's going to the University of New York and Rochester, I think you said, Steve. But Buffalo. It was Rochester and then Buffalo, but you got to settle down here. And that misses horribly. So, and there's the timeout that I was talking about by Grant. So he's 7 balls, 1 strike so far this inning in his 8 pitches. And Grant's out there saying, look, big guy, just play catch here with me, Let them put the ball in play. Trust your defense. You're not even giving them a chance to swing. Goffstown didn't hit the ball particularly well. Clay had that hard foul ball down the right field line his first time up, but a ground ball to third, a pop-up to third, and a strikeout looking. So you want to throw strikes here, and he's got Taylor 3-0. I cannot believe Taylor will be swinging right here. Tyler has a small lead at first base. Here's the pitch, and that misses low, and he's walked the first 2 batters. So similar troubles that Hyzak had in the first inning, coming back to bite Trevor Van Allen here. So now here's Bobby Doherty, who has been he's only got 2 hits in the postseason to show for it, but he's been hitting the ball really well.
Yeah, he puts the ball in play at a pretty good clip, hits the ball pretty well.
Van Allen throws a curveball for a strike, so he broke it up. He got away from the fastball, threw a curveball there. So on his 10th pitch of the inning, he throws his second strike.
That semifinal win against Kennett, Doherty hit an absolute rope to the left center field gap that was run down by the left fielder, Zach Smith, for Kennett. There's a line drive
ball down the third base line for a base hit. Coach is waving Tyler around third, and the ball gets by the third baseman. Taylor's going to try to get to third, and he makes it safely. Bobby stays at first base. The ball gets thrown away. Now Bobby starts to run. Tyler scores an RBI base hit for Bobby Doherty, and Taylor looked like he hurt himself again. But Goffstown is right back in the ball game.
Taylor in those head-first slides.
He's going to cut that out.
I'm going to tell you right now, St. Anselm is not going to let him do that again when he comes to pitch there next year.
I've seen Taylor play for a long time, and he's not the most graceful base runner. And Bobby Doherty looks like he's hurt too. He's taking some. He's running a little bit down the first base line. Not sure what happened to him. I was following the ball. He should have been on second. But Taylor was holding his right arm down. I hope he's not hurt.
Well, he had when he went head first, he came in and made pretty solid contact with LaRue Porter there at third base on that slide. His
helmet flew off, and the ball was boxed around in left field. I thought Bobby was going to go to a side. Then the ball was overthrown. It went behind the plate, and Bobby's still at first base. So. And that pitch misses high. So Van Allen is in a little bit of trouble here as Goffstown has first and third with 0 outs here in the bottom of the second inning.
Well, Mike, when the lights are shining brightest in the championship games and 17, 18-year-old kids are out there, anything can happen.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And we saw that curveball buckles Will Soucy's knees, but he misses inside.
It wasn't as
so
bad
it's
a
2-0.
pitch as Will made it look.
No, it wasn't. I think he got the umpire off of that one. That looked like it caught the inside corner, but we'll take it. Bobby Doherty's face is in the sun. That's about the only sun. Him and the right fielder about the only sun right now on the field. So here's the 2-0 to Soucy, and he misses high. So it's 3-0 to Will Soucy, and Van Allen now is on the verge of walking the bases loaded for Ethan Smith, who's on deck. So my decibel level has gone up in my voice here, as Goffstown is beginning to claw back a little bit.
I think you've changed octaves too, Mike. But
yeah, there's a pitch for a strike. So that's the 15th pitch of the inning for Van Allen.
So just a little observation. After that 3-ball count, Van Allen took his glove off and just kind of tweaked his throwing elbow a little bit. I don't know if it was a sign of
There's a
things are
fly
not.
ball to right center field. This is going to be deep enough to get Taylor home. The right fielder over makes the catch. Taylor's coming in. Here comes the throw. It's cut by the first baseman. He's not going to throw it, and it's a sacrifice fly for Will Susie. So Taylor French comes around to score, and it's now 5-2 Portsmouth. So as we said at the beginning of the inning, Steve, you don't have to score all 5 here. It'll be nice, but Goffstown's got a couple back, so they're scratching and clawing here. And Bobby Doherty still at first base. Good cutoff there by the first baseman, Goodrich. And now you got Ethan Smith up with Bobby Doherty at first base. Bobby has pretty good speed. I was watching Grant throw.
We don't know what he did on that batted ball.
Yeah,
He was definitely
correct.
taking some extra.
There he goes. A fake bunt. The throw gets behind him, and a nice backup there by number 14, Miles Sargent, as that was headed for center field. So Bobby Doherty steals second. The pitch was a ball, I believe. It's not up on the board. I believe it was a ball. I didn't see it. Yeah, one ball. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't mean to talk over you there.
No, that's okay. Please do. I'm talking enough. So now Bobby at second base for Ethan, and Taylor French is now down in the bullpen loosening up.
It's a good sign to see Bobby run there, though, because that's probably an indicator that whatever he was feeling there is feeling good enough to run on.
Yeah, so it's probably not a hamstring. Maybe he just tweaked his ankle on the bag or something. That pitch misses outside. Grant tried to pull it in. So 18 pitches into this inning so far for Trevor Van Allen. I can't imagine he's thrown many strikes. He's probably only thrown a handful of strikes so far. He's walked a couple, let up a base hit, and a sac fly by Will Susie. He's only faced 4 batters.
Yeah, I think I've only got him at 4 strikes this inning.
There's a line drive by Ethan Smith that's going to hang up for the right fielder. He makes the grab. Bobby's going to tag and try to come to third. Here's the throw, and he's safe. He beats the throw. Oh, that's a dangerous play there. You don't want to make the third out at third base. Ethan put a charge into it, and a great job there by Drew Henson getting the ball into the second baseman who made a perfect throw to third, but Bobby Doherty comes in. So now you got Carter Schwinnard up. Carter has been one of the hotter hitters. He's 3 for 6 in these playoffs. He's been hitting the ball well. Fantastic speed here. So, I'd like to see Goffstown get this third run in. We talked about Portsmouth scoring 5 runs on 2 hits. Goffstown has 2 runs on 1 hit so far, and 2 walks and a sac fly. Curveball misses outside, so 20th pitch of the inning for Van Allen. If Goffstown, even if the 5-2 score of Goffstown scores again, I think you'll see Hyzak come out to start the second inning to see what he has. Right. And if he's off, now you got Taylor that's loose and Mitchell that's loose, so you can bring in either pitcher. Here's the 1-0 to Carter. Carter takes a ball high and inside. So you got Hyzak on deck who can get some payback if he were to bat with runners on here in the second inning. So strap yourselves in. Yeah. This could be a long ball game.
I know it's only the second inning, but that is a big run at third base for Goffstown right there.
Absolutely
if they can get that a run across, it's really.
That misses horribly outside. So it's now 3-1, and you walk Carter here, and you might as well just put him on second base because he's going to be running with the first pitch. And I can't imagine that after seeing Grant almost throw the ball in the center field, they're going to throw all the way down.
Van Allen has looked into the dugout a couple of times here.
I wonder if there's something wrong here. And I tell you what, he got a gift on that one. That pitch missed outside way farther than anything that Hyzak threw.
That's the pitch that David Ortiz used to lose his mind over when umpires would give a freebie on a 3-0 count that wasn't a strike.
And that misses in the dirt. So he's walked Carter Schwinnard, and the bases are loaded for Connor Hyzak. And now Portsmouth is going to send someone down into their bullpen. That's number 27, Oscar Laline, who's running down there. He's stretching his arm out. And here comes a slow walk to the mound by the Portsmouth coach.
Just a couple things, Mike. Having been a pitcher and observed the game for a long time, I watched that game in Portsmouth pretty intently and was very impressed with Trevor Van Allen's poise and his what I call polish. You couldn't tell one pitch from the next until you watched the flight of the baseball. Tonight, I think he has given away his curveball quite a bit. It looks like he's really slowing everything down, and it seems to be even slower than more off speed than what he threw the first time they faced Portsmouth. And again, and I said this in the Kennett broadcast, when kids are asked to turn around on shorter rest, throw more pitches, throw more high stress pitches. I mean, that game against Pelham, they had all they could do to come back and win that game, for Portsmouth. So they've had some. This hasn't been a we just showed up and made it to the final cakewalk here. They've had 2 come from behind victories. So there's been a lot of high pressure, high stake pitches, innings, and plays, and those tend to add up, especially when you're not used to doing it all the time.
So there goes Carter, square to bunt. The throw goes all the way through, and Carter's safe, and Bobby's not running. Now, why Bobby didn't take off, I don't know. A great throw there by Grant, and Bobby should have taken off as soon as that ball cleared Van Allen, and the ball got away from the shortstop. So
I'm not sure why.
Malila, the ball got, I don't know why Doherty was running, but a base hit here makes it a 5-4 ball game. That was a long drive base hit to center field. Doherty's going to score. Here comes Swinard to the plate. The ball's cut off. He scores. And then goes Hyzak to second base, and he's safe. It's now a 5-4 ball game. Connor Hyzak with the 2-run base hit, and Goffstown's right back into it.
This is why they
Sorry, Steve, didn't mean to talk over you there, but
this is why they play the games, Mike, because anything can happen.
The Goffstown bench is going absolutely insane. And it's 5-4, and it's the top of the second inning. If you had told me this was going to be the score before this game started in the second inning, Steve, I would have said you were crazy.
With these 2 kids on the mound, not a chance. Not a chance.
I mean, you're thinking maybe a 2-1, 3-2 ball game, not 5-4. An inning and a third into the game. There's only one out. There's 2 outs. There's 2 outs in the second inning. And one was a sac fly that scored a run, and one was a fly ball that advanced the runner. So Clay Campbell can theoretically tie the game here with a base hit. Clay has been struggling lately, but what a time to break out. Checks his swing on an inside pitch for a ball. You know, walks will kill you every time, Steve, and Van Allen has walked 3 this inning, and all 3 of them have scored. The same thing with Hyzak. Hyzak walked 4, and 3 of them scored. So Goffstown's one hit away to tie in this game. That pitch misses low. So Van Allen is behind Clay Campbell 2-0. You got Justin Pernard on deck. Clay grounded to third on a chopper that hit off the plate and was out by a half step at first base.
On a very nice play.
A great play there by the third baseman, yeah.
Took his time, made a good throw.
There's the pitch, and Clay takes a strike outside. Good curveball there by Van Allen on a 2-0 pitch. He didn't come in with the fastball.
Nope, there's a little backdoor curveball. Bring it to
29 pitches in the inning, so that puts him up at 43 already. So I don't think the way this is going, either one of these starters is going to finish this game, Steve.
No.
Clay hits a pop-up, the second baseman over, and he's under it, and he makes the grab. But Goffstown comes storming back with a 4-run inning, and where you want your pitcher to go out and have that shutdown inning, Steve, Van Allen did the exact opposite. So 30-pitch inning for Van Allen, and the score after 1.5 innings, it's Portsmouth 5 and Goffstown 4.
Absolutely incredible. If the bottom of the first inning was an indication of nerves from Goffstown, the top of the second was certainly an indication of nerves from Portsmouth.
Oh, absolutely, Steve. And, you could see it. What do you want to do? You said you were a pitcher. I was a catcher growing up. And the worst thing you want to do after putting up 5 runs in the first inning, after getting a 1-2-3 inning in the first, is walking the leadoff batter. And that's exactly what Van Allen did. And not only did he walk the leadoff batter, he walked the next batter. And then, you had runners all over the place. And Bobby Doherty hit that base hit right down the line. And, he should have been at second long before he ended up stealing second base. But you know what? You got to give this Goffstown team credit because, it's like you said, Steve, right? They could have come in here and they could have started pointing fingers and yelling at each other, and Hyzak could have said this and that. The umpire was squeezing me and, getting the whole team down. What'd they do? They came out and they showed that patience that helped them in the Kennett game, and they, back-to-back walks to start the inning. And then Carter Schwannard, the 9-hitter, taking a key walk there and then stealing second in front of Hyzak, where Hyzak hit that key base hit to make it 5-4. And, like I said earlier, strap yourself in. We got a doozy going, 5-4 after an inning and a half. And, oh, man, I was excited before the game started. I'm even more excited now.
Well, you'd like to say, those first 2 batters, a pair of seniors come out and don't.
Yep.
They weren't anxious. They weren't swinging at stuff they shouldn't have been swinging at. They went up there and had 2 good at-bats back
Stayed
to back.
within themselves. And you know what's funny, Steve? All 3 seniors that batted that inning walked. There's a strike. You had Tyler that led off with the walk. You had Taylor that got up after him and walked. Then you had, Ethan batted, flew out and got the runner to third base, but then Carter walked. So 4 seniors batted that inning, 3 of them walked. So there's that patience you were talking about. Smart baseball. Swing and a miss. I think he tipped it into Tyler's mitt. So he's ahead of Malila 0-2.
So how things changed. Connor's back on the hill,
Yeah.
and the first 2 pitches of this inning look like nothing at all in the first inning.
Right. That pitch was a little high. Malila helped him out, but there's the curveball for strike 3. And that's the Connor Hyzak that we've come to be accustomed to, a 3-pitch strikeout. And you know what? If he gets on, Steve, he may end up finishing this game if he has a few short innings.
Well, the thing about Connor, any pitcher really, but if you start throwing that breaking ball for a strike, the fastball looks that much faster. It's hard to lay off of things.
There's a ground ball foul down the first base line. And Susi is going to chase after it, and now he's over there, so I think he's going to pick it up. So, Steve, we said he threw 50 pitches, 27 balls, 23 strikes, right? He's thrown 4 pitches this inning, all strikes. So he's at 50-50 now. I mean, you got to give Hyzak credit. He came up with 2 men on, delivered a key base hit, and he's come out now and seems to have settled down so far.
Well, 2 RBI single will always help.
Curveball snaps off high. Yeah, he's been due too. He's, coming into that at bat. He struck out looking his first at bat. Maybe he had the nerves going, like you said, and maybe that followed out to the mound. But it is a foul ball out of play. So it's 1-2 to Peyton Goodrich. So, yeah, sophomore, he went out. He had the jitters maybe leading off. He took a call third strike, went out on the mound, had a tough time there. But he looks like he's settled in right now. Here comes the 1-2. Overthrew that one a little bit, missed outside. That's where he was missing in the first inning, but he missed low there. I'd like to see Tyler move in a little bit. Maybe, have that pitch start in the middle and then tail outside. Let's see what happens here. Here comes the 2-2. Curveball misses high. That was his faster curveball. It wasn't the slow curve. So the count's now full, and what you don't want to do is walk Goodrich here. You don't want to get that into your mind again. Here comes the pitch, and he misses high. So he walks Goodrich after striking Malila out looking.
Yeah, too many free passes.
Yep. So Jack Russo is now the batter, the DH for Van Allen. He walked in the first inning, and that actually forced in a run. That forced in Hewitt from first base. So let's see how Portsmouth plays this. Not sure what Goodrich's speed is like. Tyler looks into the dugout for the sign. Hyzak looking over. Goodrich, a good kid, decent-sized lead over there. A big kid, I mean. And there's a swing and strike. So he's ahead. So he's been working from ahead this inning, Steve. He was ahead of Malila. He was ahead of Goodrich and lost him, but he's been working from ahead this inning, something he didn't do a lot of in the first inning.
No, and
something I'm not sure he did at all.
Well, no.
So timeout call. I'm sorry, timeout call by the third base coach. Sorry, Steve.
You pointed out. I mean, what did we see? 1 swing and miss in the first inning.
Yeah,
we've already seen
we've already seen 2. Yep.
So that's just that's a credit to Connor's stuff. It's a credit to coming back out with some confidence after that horrendous first inning. But like I said, a 2 RBI single, getting the club back into the game, getting pumped up, definitely can help a lot of things.
Hyzak throws over after that timeout by the third base coach. I believe that's Tim Hopley down there, number 29. I think he's the head coach as well. Goodrich looks like he might be on the move. He's got a big lead. Nope, doesn't go. And another swing and miss by Russo. Russo doesn't get cheated on his swing, Steve.
That was a big cut.
He was swinging for the downs on that one.
We didn't see a lot of swings in the first inning. So.
No, well, they didn't have many pitches to swing at. So, see, if I don't recall what Russo did the first time we played. First time we played, he was a DH. There's a ball low.
That was just off the plate.
Yep, just missed on that one. So the count is now 2-2. 2-2 or 1-2?
I've got 1-2.
I got 1-2. Never mind. Can't read my own writing.
Big lead over there.
Throws over again, yeah. Goodrich looks like he's Willie Mays Hayes over there. He's getting ready to take off. Got a big lead, big kid, big stride, not going. Curveball, catches the plate.
3.
Second called strikeout of the inning. So Hyzak's definitely got more confidence in that curveball, and that was a beauty, Steve.
Well, that's 2 of them where he throws it right at the batter, breaks across the plate, and that's 2 that have been just frozen.
Right, and that's what he wasn't doing in the first inning. He was throwing that curveball middle of the plate out,
Right.
and that's why he was missing outside. Now he's throwing that curveball towards the inside corner, and he's catching the plate with it. So that's where he wants to be with that curveball. So now 2 outs, and Miles Sargent, the batter. Goodrich still staying at first base, and that ball misses. 1-0. Oh, and there's an errant ball from the bullpen that's going to come down into the on-deck circle, and it hits LaRue Porter. Time called by the umpire. LaRue Porter about to take a swing, and the ball hit him in the foot. Gets the ball back there. So, errant ball there by Oscar Lalene. Isaac looking in for the sign. Throws over to Goodrich again, a little high. Justin, a little hop to grab that one. Runner on first, 2 outs in the Portsmouth second inning. 5-4 Portsmouth leads. And there's a strike. So it's now 1-1 to Miles Sargent.
If Connor can get back to throwing with his comfort level out of the stretch.
Foul ball into Tyler's mitt, and it's now 1-2.
It's going to be a game changer. He looked so out of sorts pitching from the stretch in the first inning.
Mm-hmm.
And now he seems to be regaining some of that composure and looks a lot better out of the stretch than he did in the first
Another
inning.
throw over there. Oh, Justin, diving stop, and I think it may have hit Goodrich, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Susie back there. I tell you, he was on the move, and he really stepped it up. It was a little trot at first, but he stepped it up when he saw the throw. Goodrich with a big lead, an extra half step there.
Oh, he was going.
Oh, he
they
had him. And the throw got away from Justin that time. And Susie is there to back it up, but not before Goodrich advances to second base. So that's a throwing error on Hyzak. They had him. Oh, man, he was leaning. Told you he was Willie Mays. It's a good pitch to run on 1-2. If he strikes out, no harm, no foul. If he gets thrown out, then Sargent leads off with the new count. He's in the hole 1-2 right here. But now Goodrich is at second base, 2 outs, and let's hope that doesn't rattle Hyzak at all. Here comes the pitch. Fastball up the middle. It hits the mound. Campbell's got to hurry. There's the throw. It's off the mark, and it goes into the stands. So Goffstown gives a run right back. Campbell waited on that one. It hit the mound, and the throw got by Pennard, and nobody could stop that one from going into the stands in right field. So Goffstown gets 4 and promptly gives one back. And Clay Campbell, who's been automatic at shortstop this year, has had a couple of tough plays.
Yeah, I tentative on the approach to the baseball on both of those errors where
if he charges those are 2 outs.
Well, they're hard plays to make when you charge them, but you put so much pressure on yourself by having to be perfect when you don't.
Right. There's a fly ball to left field. Doherty going back, drifting back, gets under it, and makes the catch.
The ball was hit pretty well.
So it was hit well and a little further than Doherty thought. So Portsmouth, that inning, scores a run without the benefit of a hit. So now they've got 6 runs on 2 hits. 2 strikeouts looking, a walk, an error on the pitcher to get him to second base, and then an error on the shortstop to score him. So a throwing error by Hyzak came up big because they would have only had runners on second and third. Van Allen on his way out to the mound again. I lost track of the pitch count. I had him at 17. I don't know how many he threw there. But Van Allen now on his way back out there again for the top of the third. So 18, so I had him for 17. I just missed one. So he's at 68. It's not horrible. Van Allen's at 44 so far. 68 total for Hyzak. After the first inning, 50. If you told me to have 68 after 2, I'd say that was pretty good. So we've completed 2 full innings, and it's 6-2 Portsmouth.
6-4.
6-4 Portsmouth. I'm losing my mind over here. I'm looking right out at the scoreboard. It says 6-4. I said 6-2. Too much stuff going on. I'm trying to read too many things. So we got Justin Pernard that's going to lead us off. Justin, Tyler, and Taylor. 3 seniors coming up here in the top of the third inning for Goffstown. So Goffstown with 4 runs on 2 hits. They've committed 3 errors so far in the 2 innings. And Portsmouth with 6 runs on 2 hits, and they have yet to commit an error.
Well, we've seen the size of this field come into play a little bit already. Goffstown scored a run on a sac fly that was not hit very deep into the outfield as it relates to this field. However, it was plenty deep enough to actually score the run.
Right.
Then we saw a ball hit a little bit further that was still not deep on this ball field, but allowed a runner to tag and go from second to third.
Right. So Justin takes a ball inside, so let's see if Van Allen can walk the leadoff runner after his team scores again.
And just to finish that thought, overthrows here are going to be at least one base, and you're actually backing up to keep it from being two.
That pitch misses outside for a ball.
And again, that's part of the amount of space there is here to cover in fair and foul territory on any ball thrown or hit.
Right, it's a good point. We've already seen it a couple times on Goffstown. Curveball miss. Oh, he gets that call for a strike. That was that sweeping curveball. He likes throwing that pitch when he's behind. It's 2-0, 3-1.
Mike, I don't know about you, but when he throws that pitch, he drops everything. It looks very apparent to me when he's throwing that pitch.
There it is again, and Justin fists a foul straight back. So he's now even the count at 2 after being in a 2-0 hole.
I guess if anything, the point it's not crisp, and it's possible to maybe pick up on that and take some good cuts at it.
Justin was fooled on that one and fisted it back. So here comes the 2-2. Curveball, and Justin hits a little pop-up to third. Third baseman in foul ground and makes the play. So Justin, for the second time, pops up to the third baseman, LaRue Porter. And here comes Tyler Santoro, who walked his first time up. Walked and scored in the second inning. Portsmouth coach moving his outfield around a little bit. Sweeping curveball again. He's thrown a lot of those, Steve. Ever since he threw the first 2 fastballs for balls, he's thrown 4 consecutive curveballs now. So he's Tyler's ahead 1-0 here, and he misses terribly with the fastball. So, if I was a gambling man, I'd bet on that sweeping curveball right here. He threw it to Justin 2-0. He's thrown a bunch of them so far. He just missed badly with that fastball. So I'd be sitting on a curveball. And he comes in with the fastball and misses. So he's 3-0 to Tyler. He walked Tyler his first time up. He's on the verge of doing it again. And here's that patience again you talk about. Senior hitter, smart hitter. You're not going to see him swinging here. And he misses horribly. So Tyler walks for the second time. And Van Allen, again, after getting a gift run, gives Goffstown a free base. And there comes Taylor French, who walked and scored in the second inning. Scored on that base hit by Bobby Doherty.
I'm baffled by this.
I'm sorry, he scored on the sac fly. Sorry, Steve. Yeah, as am I. I mean, Van Allen, all he has to do is throw strikes. So
wasn't he Player of the Year?
He was. He certainly was.
And
he misses again.
I know that we're all human.
Right.
And we're all, very frail at times, but I was not expecting
Throws over
this.
to first base. Tyler gets back.
That's a pretty quick move right there.
Yeah, that was a good move. Tyler didn't look like he was going, but he had a good lead. Tyler's a good base runner. He doesn't have the greatest speed, but he's a very smart base runner.
He wasn't running, but he was froze there for a second.
He certainly wasn't expecting that move. There's a strike poured over the plate. So it's 1-1 now to Taylor French. Tell you what, Van Allen's had a problem with his fastball. If he can locate his fastball, then he may be all right. The fastball is the thing that's getting him. It goes over there again, and Tyler back safely. So he seems to be moving over to pick off Tyler when Tyler's still stepping out. So 1-1 now to Taylor. There's a slow curve that misses. Tyler had a good secondary there, and Grant thought about throwing it down. I'd like to see him throw one into right field, to be honest with you, Steve. So French ahead 2-1 here.
Well, this is a well-coached team. Both of them are. And so you've got to still play everything honest. You can't expect.
No. He kind of looked outside. Grant brought it in, but he gets the call strike. So it's 2-2 now to French.
You can't expect either one of these clubs to go away or to stop playing,
No.
sound baseball.
There's another throw over there. I don't know. He must have read a book on Tyler or something. He thinks that he's going to take off. Or maybe he's upset with himself for walking him for a second time, trying to get the out back. So 2-2 to French. Van Allen takes his time. There's that sweeping curveball, misses outside. So the count's now full to French.
Good take by Taylor there.
Yeah, great take right there. There's that sweeping curve that we talked about. And, if Van Allen's on, that pitch, like we talked about with Hyzak, starts inside and breaks over the plate. Doesn't start. That ball was never a strike. Here comes the 3-2, and that misses outside. Oh, he rings him up. Actually rung him up. I thought that missed outside, but he rings Taylor up. Good pitch. It's a good pitcher's pitch. I thought it missed, but I'm not. That's why I'm way back here, and he's down there. So 2 outs now for Bobby Doherty. Bobby singled down the left field line, right past the outstretched third baseman, and the third baseman, says that he hit it down here last time, but the left fielder actually moved to his left a few steps. So now it's 2 down. Tyler's still at first base. Here comes the pitch. Bobby takes a ball low. So Van Allen is at now 16 pitches this inning, so he's not going to have an easy inning. He's at 60 pitches now.
Yep.
And Hyzak's at 68, but Van Allen's pitched an extra inning so far. Well, 2/3 extra so far. Slow curve. Bobby hits one back here. If we put our hands out, maybe we'd be able to get it. Nope, a few rows below us. A big hop and grab down there. Oh, Dave Smith boots it. And Goffstown fan has it, and they give it to him. So that was right below us. Oh, that wasn't Dave Smith that booted it. Dave Smith sitting a little in front of that. So 1-1 through Bobby. Tyler still at first base. Little ground ball over Van Allen's head. Goes to second, to throw to first, just in time.
That was close.
That was very close. So Van Allen got himself in a little trouble. He walked Tyler, but Tyler does not come around to score. Van Allen, like Hyzak, throws 18 pitches that inning. So it puts him at 62 through 3. Hyzak going back out to the mound, and he needs a clean inning here, Steve, to probably stay in this ball game. So we're through 3 full. And it's the Portsmouth Clippers 6, Goffstown Grizzlies 4. And there's 10 runs, and there's only been 4 hits in the game, Steve.
Yeah, well, there's been 4 hits and 3 errors.
4 hits, 3 errors, and let's see.
And more walks than I care to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks by Hyzak. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's been 10 walks. 10 runs, 10 walks.
And don't forget the hit batter that didn't get hit.
That didn't count, right. So, but of the 10 walks, Steve, 7 of them have come around to score. So 7 of the 10 runs were batters that have walked.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. Runs start to pile up when free passes are handed out.
Mm-hmm. So Hyzak taking his warm-up tosses. Tyler was on first base, so he's got to get his equipment on before he can come out. Here he comes now. Good job by Ben Dodge, telling Tyler to throw this one down, and the umpire tells him the same. So the sun is completely gone. Beautiful sky. We could see little shades of pink and purple in the off to our left field side, which is west, and beautiful view of Manchester right outside there. Get the Snoo Arena right behind the Hilton Garden Inn back there.
Oh, it's a great setting here. It really is.
So Drew Henson, the right fielder, is going to be first up. He had a base hit, a little looper that went over Ethan's head. Ethan was playing in. Goffstown had the infield in with the bases loaded, and Henson hit a little blooper over Ethan's head. So let's see how Hyzak comes out here. First pitch fastball for a strike.
Yeah, Hudson was behind 1-2 in the count and just kind of punched a little blooper. I don't know with the infield back did he catch that or not on that first
curveball. Hudson ducked, and it was not a bad pitch at all. I think the umpire gave up on it when he ducked. So 1-1 to Hudson here. That misses outside. Hyzak needs a clean inning. Just like Van Allen's had a couple of clean innings. Well, he had the 1, 2, 3 in the first, didn't let up any runs last inning, but Hyzak could use a quick, clean inning here. Although, Portsmouth brought 5 men up last inning. They scored the run. He only threw 18 pitches, but there's the 1-2, and he struck him out. So Hyzak records his 3rd strikeout of the game. He's gotten a little stronger. That's the 3rd strikeout in the last inning and the 3rd. 3 of the last 4 outs have been by strikeout.
Yep, started to command both of his pitches here a little bit. And like you said, Mike, that first inning especially, that breaking ball was starting plate, middle plate, or even away, and then breaking off the plate.
Fastball misses high.
Now he started to throw it more at the batter and let the ball do the work for him, and it's been very effective.
Yep. Aaron Lundgren is the batter. He walked his first time up. That pitch hits the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-1.
The other thing, not only for Connor and his pitch count, it's still early, but it's not as early as it was. So you don't want to fall any further behind to this club.
Right. I mean, you're in the third inning now, so you still have 4 chances at bat, but you want to stop it here. You're chasing 2. You don't want to be chasing more than that. And that misses outside. So he's 3-1 now to Lundgren. And he's the 8-hitter. You don't want to walk the 8-hitter twice, Steve.
No, you don't. He was 3-1 on him first time and walked him.
And he misses there, and he walks him again. So Lundgren walks for the second time, and that's the 10th pitch of the inning for Hyzak. So he's now at 78 pitches. There's no tomorrow, so he can pitch as many as he's good for. But, you also you don't want to see him get in any more trouble.
Here's Jacob Grant, the catcher, number 15. He grounded out to second base his first at bat.
And it was a hell of a play by Ethan to get him out. It was a slow roller that went over Connor's head, and Ethan had to do everything he could to shovel that ball to Justin. A run scored on the play. But Ethan, tell you what, Ethan doesn't get that out, and it could have been a longer inning for Connor Hyzak. Ethan made a great play there.
That was an RBI ground out for Grant on the play.
Yep, Hyzak throwing over. He's paying some attention to Lundgren over there. Here comes the pitch. There's a bunt. It's a good bunt. Hyzak's got to play it. Only play to first base. Throw is high. Pulls Justin off the base. A great bunt by Jacob Grant. A base hit. Portsmouth now first and second. Sorry, Steve.
I don't know why Connor comes down there running away from first base and feels the ball with his glove.
Yep. And Lawrence is taking a trip to the mound. It looks like Taylor French is going to come in. I see Nick Labrie. Nick Labrie's looking around out there. Nope, I thought he was grabbing his glove. Lawrence is talking to Hyzak here. He's at 79 pitches so far. He's trying to settle down. He came in, like you said, he failed it on his back foot, number 1, Steve, but he picked it up with his glove. The ball was dead. Instead of picking it up with his bare hand, he picked it up with his glove and then had to do the transfer. And then he had to rush his throw to first base and pull Justin off the bag. A good throw gets him, but, you still got to give they scored him a hit here. I gave him a hit.
Yeah, I did too.
It's a good play.
That was a good bunt, very good bunt.
So Calvin Hewitt up for the 3rd time in 3 innings. He singled in the first to shortstop and then flew to left field, a pitch in the dirt. Nice stop by Tyler. So first and second, Lundgren at second base, Grant at first base. Hyzak getting himself in trouble again with the walk. He's 1-0 to Hewitt, the leadoff hitter. Another pitch in the dirt. And got to wonder how long the leash is here,
This
here.
is dangerous waters here. Top of the order, 3rd look at Hyzak.
Yep.
2 guys on base. No matter what's happened so far tonight, this is a good ball club you're playing.
Yep. That is a strike poured in, and taken all the way was Hewitt. A 2-0 pitch.
And Hewitt has extra base power.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure, and he can
run.
One
of the better hitters, and he's got great speed. Absolutely correct, Steve. I remember the first game, he was the first batter. He stung the ball to center field. Carter Swarnado made a nice running grab on him. So Hyzak now behind 3-1, and I don't think you're going to see Hewitt take here as he did on the 2-0 pitch. I'm thinking he's got green light. If he gets that fastball in the middle, you're going to see him tee off. So Hyzak on the verge here of potentially walking the bases loaded again. There's a strike. Good pitch right there. That was a great pitch on the outside corner. Unhittable pitch right there on 3-1. So full count here. See if Hyzak has confidence in that curveball that he starts inside, or if he's going to come in with the fastball here. Let's see. Fastball, and there's a fly ball to right field. Sushi coming over, and he dives and makes a fantastic catch.
What a catch.
What a catch by Will Sushi. Fantastic catch right there.
Potentially a huge
play. That ball, if that bounces, that gets by him. That's 3 easy and 2 runs. If Goffstown comes back and wins this game, Steve, you're going to remember that catch right there. Absolutely fantastic catch, and I hope our 3 cameras out there, somebody got that. Maybe we get a couple different angles of that, but so far, great play.
Play right there. That if that gets by him, that might be a 3-run homer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that's the second out of the inning. Here comes Max Malila, the shortstop.
He's walking,
he takes
struck
the ball.
out.
Yep.
Scored one time.
I'd like to see him put the end to the inning right here, Steve. And he hits a high fly ball to left center field. Chouinard coming over, and he makes a running catch. Two fantastic outfield plays by Goffstown. And Steve, just as Smith for Kennett did in the Kennett-Goffstown game, Goffstown's outfield, and I tell you, nobody catches that ball other than Carter Chouinard. He's the only one who had a chance, and he's running. He has to backhand that ball.
Yeah.
He's not going to catch that forehand. He had to go across his body, and I tell you, it pays to have wide receiver speed out there in center field, Steve.
Well, it's a tough twilight sky. You see a late jump from one outfielder and a better jump from Carter. Carter runs that ball down. We don't have the technology here in these broadcasts yet
To show you replays.
to show how many feet he covered from the time he broke to the time he caught that ball, but he went a long way to make that catch. That was a fine running catch by Chouinard.
And either of those balls drop, Steve, and it's easily an 8-4 game, if not 9, if both of those drop.
Without question.
So if Goffstown comes back to win, Steve, you're going to remember the bottom of the third inning for Portsmouth where they failed to score. They put 2 runners on base, and the number 1 Cal Hewitt and number 2 Max Malila hitters are absolutely robbed, once by Will Soucy in right field and the second by Carter Chouinard in center field. And you know what? As fate would have it, Soucy's leading off this inning and Chouinard's batting third. So let's see if that momentum can carry over to the plate.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You usually see that happens. You know, you make a great play in the field and then you're up to bat the next inning. So let's see if Goffstown can put some base runners on here and have some fun. So here comes Will Soucy.
So I had Hyzak at 19 pitches
Yep,
in
as
the
did I.
third
So
for
87 for the game,
so
yep.
far. But that's a big zero. That's a huge
zero
to put up
right.
there.
Yep. 2 runners on, and not easy outs at all.
Portsmouth's left 5 men on base already.
Yep. And Van Allen promptly comes out and throws a ball the first pitch again. Goffstown's only left, 2 on base so far?
Yep.
Here's a line drive that's going to get through, a base hit for Will Soucy. So, diving play by Malila. So, Goffstown collects their third hit of the ball game, a base hit by Will Soucy, and that brings up Ethan Smith now. Will's got decent speed over there, but, you know, I tell you, I was watching Grant, the catcher, throw in warm-ups, and he's bounced everything, but he made a great throw down there on that double steal where Doherty didn't run from third base, made a great throw down there when Chouinard stole second base.
Well, it was a great throw because Chouinard had such a jump on and it was actually a fairly close play out of nowhere with the Chouinard speed and the jump he had.
Very small lead by Soucy there. Ethan bunts, and it squares the bunt and a pitch in the dirt. Great stop by Grant right there. That ball gets by him. And like you said, you know, maybe second base, possibly, you know, definitely second base, possibly third base. Easy for me to say, huh? Looks like Taylor French is warming up again down in the bullpen in right field. So Ethan, let's see, squares again.
Soucy's off.
And he takes off, and he's going to steal the base. All right, the ball gets away again, but Soucy's going to stay there. I believe that pitch was a ball as well. So Soucy steals second base. Ethan had the bunt up there, and it looked like a straight steal, Steve, because he pulled the ball. He pulled it back. I don't think it was because it was a ball. I think he was just trying to, kind of distract the catcher a little bit. But what a great jump by Will Soucy right there. He didn't have a very big lead.
No, that was an excellent jump, and I don't know if Ethan read that and pulled the bat back because of that.
He may have.
He had a huge jump.
So Goodrich way in at first base. Ethan squares again, and it's ball 3. So Ethan, I don't know now if he's squaring just to throw Van Allen off or if he's actually squaring to bunt. I can't imagine he's going to be bunting 3-0 here, Steve. He may square again, but I doubt he's going to bunt. You don't bunt on a 3-0 pitch. And you got to make him throw you a couple strikes.
A couple times, that's twice with stolen bases where the ball's gone off of the bag either into center field or short right center, and the detriment of the head first slide there.
Ethan takes ball 4. Yeah, Steve, I love the head first slide. I think it's a great hustle play, but it cost Goffstown at least 2 bases so far. Here comes Hopley out to the mound. Goffstown now has the tying run at first base, and Ethan Smith, and he's walking as if he's going to make a pitching change here. I'm not. Oh, whoever's warming up just threw a curveball that missed by about 30 feet, and it hit the tarp. And I think is that still.
I didn't look to see
the
who was
line down there. Number 27. He was down there earlier, so he's coming in. He's coming down now. So I think they're going to. This home plate umpire has been very lenient on these visits. These visits have gone on for a long. And Van Allen's coming out of the game, Steve. 6 pitches into the 4th inning. And the ace for Portsmouth is coming out of the game. He did not have his best stuff, and Laline's coming in. Van Allen gives him a hug as he goes out there. Oscar Laline, number 27, is making his way out to the mound. So Van Allen is done after 66 pitches in
68. I have him 6th this inning.
I'm sorry,
68.
6th this inning, 68. Steve, I can't add. 62 and 6 is 66 in my mind.
I always bring my abacus.
So that's it. And Laline, I think that's how you say his name, is now coming on to pitch in the 4th inning. So Van Allen doesn't make it through the 4th inning. He goes 3 full. He let up 3 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walks. Only struck out struck out 2. They were both looking. And he's let up 4 runs so far, responsible for 2 base runners. So again, Steve, I'll say it. Strap yourself in. It's the top of the 4th, and Goffstown is maybe a couple hits away from making this a whole new ball game.
Absolutely right. Now, with the re-entry rule, he could re-enter.
He could re-enter. Yes,
and
he can.
Could, since he was taken from the mound, he could re-enter to the mound.
To the mound, correct. And in which case, though, right now, if he were to come back in, they would lose Jack Russo. They would lose the DH.
Right.
If he were to come back in the game. So Van Allen would have to bat for himself.
The only reason I bring that up is in a long time ago, when I was a kid playing for Londonderry High School, we played in the championship game. I won't say the year, but
well, I'm sure it was.
We didn't wear batting helmets and stuff like that. No, I'm just kidding. But our starting pitcher, who was the ace of our staff, had labored terribly to get through. I think it was only 3 and something, or maybe 4 innings, and we pulled him to shortstop. He didn't come out of the game, but he did end up coming back to the mound to actually close out the 7th inning of that game, and it was a state championship for us. But so I don't know that that's going to happen here tonight, especially with how much he's thrown in the postseason just to get here. But you can't count that out yet.
Right. So here's Carter Schwannard, who's one of the hottest hitters for Goffstown, walked and stole second base in the 2nd inning.
Came around to score.
Wonder if he's going to be bunting here.
First baseman
Goodrich thinks so. He squares, and he bunts it down the first base line. Goodrich comes in, throws to first base. So Schwannard does his job. Sacrifice bunt, and Goffstown is a base hit away from tying the game. So Laline throws 1 pitch. Schwannard sacrifices himself, and Ethan Smith goes to second. Will Susi goes to third. Steve, the story you're just telling, if you remember last year, the Oyster River game against Goffstown, Brandon Oxford started that game. Oyster River had an 8-1 lead, but Oxford was not very sharp in that game. They took him out. Goffstown mounted a tremendous comeback. He ended up coming back in the game and suffering the loss as Goffstown won that game 9-8.
I did not know
Isaac takes a curveball up high. Yeah, it was funny when you started saying that. I'm like, well, I have a more recent, rather than going back to the 80s in your high school championship.
Game.
But it was a championship game. It was last year's playoffs, and you could watch that on GTV as well. Here comes the 1-0 to Hyzak, and that misses high. So it's 2-0 to Hyzak, and Hyzak hit a 2-run base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2, single and a strikeout looking in the 1st inning. So Hyzak batting for the 3rd time through 4 innings so far. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. And he hits a line drive foul. Oh, he got a nice piece of that. Got it off the end of the bat, too, Steve. I think it wasn't hit as hard as I thought, but still a line drive nonetheless down the 3rd base line. It's 2-1.
Yeah, he was well out in front of that one.
Umpires call time. I think the ball is stuck in the tarp out there, or it's still on the field of play. One of the Portsmouth coaches or players running down there to go. It's right behind the pitcher's mound. The left fielder gathers it up and throws it into the coach. It looks like he hurt his back. Bending over. You know you're getting old, Steve, when you bend down to pick up a baseball and you hurt yourself. So
that could happen to me at any point.
2-1 to Hyzak. Runners on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out so far. Hyzak with that open stance. The pitch misses outside, so it's 3-1 now.
That's a good take right there. After jumping out in front of a pitch and lining one foul, to stay back and let that ball travel, realize that's down and away, and let it go.
So Hyzak, 3-1 in the driver's seat here. Here comes the pitch, and that miss. Oh, Hyzak is still going. He doesn't know it's a strike. Hyzak was almost at first base. Steve, not only did I think that pitch was outside, I think that pitch was low.
I thought the pitch was down for sure.
And Hyzak is getting razzed by the Portsmouth contingent behind the third base dugout, as well he should. And Hyzak, he said something to the umpire. He probably said, "I didn't mean to show you up," but that pitch was awfully low and outside. So it's a full count now to Connor Hyzak, and let's hope he can do something here. That pitch misses way outside. So just a pitch later, it gets Hyzak down to first base. Goffstown out. The base is loaded and 1 out. And I'll tell you, if there's a kid that needs a base hit right now, it's Clay Campbell. Clay is 0 for his last 12 in these playoffs. He hit a rope line drive down the right field line foul his first time up, but popped to second and grounded to third so far. And, if he's going to make an out, I hope it's a productive out where it gets at least a run in, because Goffstown cannot squander this opportunity.
Well, obviously you'd like to see something productive here, certainly a hit, but I want to see him square something up.
Curveball misses outside. So Lalline is walking a fine line right here as he's trying to nibble at corners, and bases are full of Grizzlies. Goodrich is the only one playing in. The middle infield is back. Check swing for a strike on Campbell. The third baseman is playing way back. If Clay was so inclined, if he bunted one on the third base line, he could bunt for a base hit. I mean, he's playing 8 feet behind the bag over there. That misses outside. So, you got a kid that's not swinging very well. Why not? Why not take a chance and, dribble one down third base? It's more like a safety squeeze. He's not going to make a play at home. 2-1 now to Campbell. That misses outside. So now Lalline is on the verge of walking in a run with Justin Pernard on deck. Justin hasn't had good at-bats against Van Allen. He popped out the third twice, but one pitch away from making this a one-run game, Steve.
Deep breath from Campbell there. 3-1. If it's there, let it fly.
Absolutely. It's got to be your pitch or let it go. There it comes. And that's a strike right down Main Street. So Campbell, obviously a little hesitant, the way he is right now.
Grizzlies with the bases loaded.
Yep, bases loaded.
Trailing by 2.
1 out, full count. Here comes the pitch to Clay. And he misses inside, and he walks in a run. And it's now 6-5. Clay Campbell with probably one of the biggest RBIs of his career right there. And that didn't miss by much. And Hopley is asking the umpire where that missed. And you can't argue balls and strikes. I'd toss him. Send him out. Oh, here we go. Yeah. And Hopley's coming out. The umpire's telling him to stop. He's telling him not to question my balls and strikes. I'm sure of it. As Grant said something to his bench like that pitch was a strike. But I'll tell you, Steve, it's been going both ways. So you can't complain. He was the benefactor of it all first inning. Hyzak was definitely getting squeezed in the first inning, and Hyzak thought it and knew it. But we're one run away from a brand new ball game. Justin Pernard with the bases full of Grizzlies and 1 out. There comes the pitch. And Justin hits a little foul.
Well, Mike, I'll put it this way. There's been a lot of walks in the game tonight.
Yeah.
And the only constant is the home plate umpire.
That's correct.
3 different pitchers, all of them struggling to throw strikes.
Right.
So you figure out what that means.
Well, they all have the same. Justin, it's a ground ball to second. If he can stay out of the double play, it's a tie game, and he does. And Justin grounds out. Campbell's out at second base. Hyzak goes to third, and it's a tie ball game, Steve. So a productive out by Justin Pernard. Ethan Smith comes down to score, and Goffstown has clawed their way all the way back to a 6-6 tie.
Yep.
Pernard is now at first base. Hyzak at third. Tyler Santoro coming up. He's already walked twice, and we have a brand new ball game, Steve, here in the top of the 4th.
Unbelievable. That's about the 4th ball tonight that's hit off the front of the plate.
Yeah, and they're all slow grounders, Steve.
Well, they're in the air for half an hour. And that's the reason a run scores there, because the second baseman did a great job.
A good turn, and he only missed Justin by about a foot or so.
Sometimes one of the hardest things to do as an infielder is wait for a ball to come down that's been chopped like that, because you want to do everything fast. But the first thing you have to do is let it come down, because you can't make it go any faster. And he made a good play once that happened. He smooth turn in the middle, but it was in the air long enough, and Justin hustling down the line beat that out, and we're 6-6 here in the fourth inning.
And that closes the book on Van Allen. He's responsible for all 6 runs. So Isaac and Pinard are now the responsibility of Lalline. It's Tyler Santoro, one of the hottest Grizzlies right now. He's 5 for 10 in these playoffs, and he's been on base twice today, walked twice, and he takes a fastball strike down the middle. So that's Lalline's 16th pitch of the inning since coming in. Van Allen threw 6 this inning, so this is a huge at-bat for Goffstown. They could take their first lead of the game. Justin with the decent lead over there. Here comes the 0-1 to Tyler. Come on, hit the line drive! Left field, that's down the line, and it's foul! Oh, foul by 2 feet. That ball was absolutely scorched. That could score 2, Steve, if that's a fair ball. Absolutely crushed that ball. And I'm sorry for banging the table. Not only am I announcing it at my Goffstown homer, but that's my kid down there. Absolutely crushed that one, and not foul by 5 feet. 5 feet away from Goffstown taking a lead right there.
Down into the corner of the 326.
And he's got to be on the lookout for a curveball here or a sneaky fastball. So 0-2 now to Tyler. Here comes the pitch, and he struck him out swinging. So a great comeback by Lalline. Good at bat by Tyler. He was close to giving Goffstown the lead, but you know what? Goffstown has come back to tie this ball game in the top of the 4th inning. It is now 6-6. So
what a game!
What a game! I said earlier, strap yourselves in. And Taylor French is making his way out to the mound, Steve. So that's going to be it for Isaac, who finishes with 87 pitches. And we'll get his complete line. He let up 6 runs on 3 hits. I don't know if all of them are earned with Goffstown's 3 errors, but
I'll try to reconstruct some of that. But Van Allen goes 3 innings plus, only allows 3 hits. You say, well, that can't be that bad, right?
Yeah.
Struck out 2, walked 5, and allowed 6 runs.
Let up all 6 runs and all earned. Whereas Isaac, on the other hand, pitched 4 innings through 87 pitches, and he struck out 3. 2 of them were looking. Walked 4, 5, 6. He only went 3 innings and walked 6. And he let up 6 runs. And it looks like only one of them was unearned. Actually, the error by Clay. The 6th run was the unearned run, because the error by Clay that got second base didn't have anything to do with. So he let up 5 earned runs. So the starting pitchers, again, Steve, we talked about it. If you had told me they'd be done by the time the 4th inning was over, both starting pitchers out of the game. Actually, like you said, Isaac only pitched 3 because it's still in the bottom of the 4th inning. It feels like it's the 10th. It's already 10 minutes of 9. And we started this game at 7:26.
Actually, I have 4 earned because the leadoff batter reached on an error.
Goodrich. No, he walked and went to second on the error, So, that's a tough one. He went there, the error, so you can't assume he's not going to score.
Yeah, so you're right. That's 3 innings for Isaac, 87 pitches.
So
he only allowed 2 hits.
No, they must have 3. They got 3 on the board out there. Yeah, there's only been 6 hits in the game. Right, the bunt single. And French misses outside with the fastball. So Taylor, fresh off of Thursday night's win, where he pitched 6 innings against Kennett. I think he threw 98 pitches in that game. So neither starter is going to get a decision here. There's a foul ball right back at us, 1-1. So we have a brand new ball game, Steve, in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 6-6. The lines are almost identical. 6 runs, 3 hits. The only difference is Goffstown has 3 errors, and Portsmouth is yet to commit an error. They could have had a couple of errant throws by the catcher went in the center field, but no advancement. Curveball, ground ball to short. Isaac, fresh over at shortstop, makes the play and the throw, and they got him. So a nice, easy, marked that in the wrong spot. Nice, easy out there as Peyton Goodrich grounds out. 3-pitch out for Taylor French.
That was a 1-1 count on that, correct?
Yep, 1-1 count on that. So Jack Russo now batting, still in there as DH. He's batting for Lalline, who came in to pitch for Van Allen. at the beginning of this inning. And there's a swing strike. So French is on so far, 4 pitches, 3 strikes.
French has always been that kind of bulldog mentality out there.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like he's got that fired up tonight.
Curveball, high, chopper again off the plate. Ethan comes over and he can't field it. That's a tough play. I don't think he's going to throw him out even if he fails that cleanly.
Agreed.
I think that's a base hit for Russo.
Yeah. Again, there's another ball that's in the air for like a good punt.
Hit off the plate. The hang time, I'd like to see if we can measure hang time on that one. You know, I just thinking back to that top of the 4th inning, Tyler's line drive down the line. If that hits, that scores 2 runs, and unfortunate there, you know. But he's going to have at least one more at bat. It's only the bottom of the 4th inning, being the 4-hitter. So here comes Miles Sargent, and he takes a ball up high. Sargent is walked and reached on an error by Clay, who was playing short at the time. Clay's now at second base. We'll redo the Goffstown lineup. No substitutions. Clay went to second, Connor went to short, Ethan went to third, and Taylor's on the mound. That misses. So it's 2-0 to Sargent.
I had Isaac for 7 walks.
7 walks? Okay.
So he walked 1 in that last inning.
Oh, you're right. I did have 7. Lundgren walked twice. There's a strike. So, Steve, I'm looking at the Portsmouth lineup, and there's only 3 batters that haven't walked so far. I'm sorry, 4 batters that haven't walked so far. That's a lot of walks. Fastball fouled off.
What's amazing is how much is happening. There's 12 runs scored in this game. There hasn't been a whole lot of balls put in play, really, when you think.
Yeah.
Percentage-wise.
There's been a couple of line drive hits. You know, Hyzak's single, but it's been it looked like a snoozer, Steve. Even though Portsmouth scored 5 runs in the 1st inning, there wasn't a heck of a lot of action. It was a lot of trotting around the bases on walks.
It's not like they came out and just pounded the baseball all over the yard.
And then even Goffstown's, 2nd inning, walk, base hit, sack, fly ball, walk, not the most glamorous runs, but it did the job. And, I'm glad that there's a tie game right now. That's all I got to say. So 2-2 here to Sargent with Russo on first base. And he struck him out on a high fastball. So French's first
He had 5.
strikeout.
He had 5 against Kennett.
And that is 2 down. Hunter LaRue Porter, 8 strikeouts against Kennett.
I was writing the number 5 as I said that, which throws myself off.
So we both have that same disease, Steve. we mean to say something, but we're looking and we get distracted easily. Is that what you're trying to say?
I can't be held accountable for my words.
French misses outside there for a ball on LaRue Porter. LaRue Porter is 0 for 2. He reached on a fielder's choice that brought a run home in the 1st and flied out to the left in the, I think it was the 2nd.
Actually, he did not bring a run home. He was the play was the force at the plate.
Oh, correct. You're right. You're absolutely right. I stand corrected. Sorry about that. He did score in that inning.
Yeah.
Came around to score. So 1-1, 1 out. The runner on first base is Russo.
2 outs with that strikeout.
I just looked out there and I saw 2 and I said 1. So, my goodness, he throws the ball away. Another throwing error, and it goes into the stand. So he's going to get third base. No, he's going to get second base. It's a one-base advancement. So another error for Goffstown. They're 4th of the game.
I don't know that throw needs to be made.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. They're paying a lot of attention to these runners. And, first of all, they haven't attempted a stolen base yet today. And second of all, he didn't have a very big lead.
No, that's Clay Buchholz right there, getting nervous in a situation thrown over there for no apparent reason.
And this is what led to their run in the 3rd inning, where an error now scored the runner. Ground ball and an overthrow scored the runner from second base. So now there's a runner in scoring position, and LaRue Porter fouls that back. So it's now 1-2.
And I'm not saying that's there's not a reason to throw over the bases, certainly, but. I think Goffstown and Connor was doing the same thing, and Taylor here. Both, I think they're giving those runners a little bit too much credit.
Yep. Time called at the plate.
We had the one play, though, where they did throw over on consecutive pitches, if you will, and they had the kid picked off dead to rights, leading the wrong way, and it ended up throwing the ball away.
Right. So, it worked in that instance, but it didn't work.
But Russo wasn't even a body length away from the bag on that last throw over.
Right. So here comes the 1-2 to LaRue Porter. Curveball fouled off the end of the bat.
Just
got a piece of that. Yep, it's a good piece of hitting right there by LaRue Porter. Didn't try to do much with that pitch.
He's not swinging a 40-inch bat there. That's a strikeout.
That's an old Carl Yastrzemski bat, man. That's big 37, 38-inch bat. Dating myself a little bit there. So still 1-2 to LaRue Porter. French peers in for the sign. This will be pitch number 15 for him in this inning. And he struck him out on a pitch in the dirt. So consecutive strikeouts for French. 15 pitches gets him through the fourth inning. So now we're deadlocked. Everybody's batted 4 times, and it's a 6-6 ball game, and Taylor French is going to come out to lead us off. So this will be Laline's first clear inning here where he doesn't have men on base. He came in, he inherited 2 runners, and both of those runners scored. He did not allow any of his runners to score. You got Tyler, who crushed one down the left field line foul to strike out to end last inning. That was just the 3rd strikeout for Portsmouth. Goffstown now has 5. Taylor with 2 in a row there to end the inning. So a good inning by Taylor.
What a difference those outs make with strikeouts, where it's not they're non-productive outs offensively. They should be big outs for you defensively, but you mix in an errant throw on a pickoff move that allows a runner to move up that shouldn't have moved up. So if Goffstown can really, clean this up even further, I mean, nobody in this game's really shown they're pounding the baseball. So who knows what's going to happen.
Look at this. We got a wave going on. The Goffstown faithful have a wave going on, trying to get the cameraman to get him over there. I'm not sure if our left field camera has it. Steve, I'm really excited. I'm excited to call this game, and it's, I'll say it right now because it's only the 5th inning, and who knows what's going to happen later on. I just want to tell you, I'm so glad you decided to come and join us in here. It's been a pleasure to call these games with you and John. And I know John is a little bit of a nervous Nelly. He likes to walk around, but I really appreciate you stepping up in the booth. And I've had a great time calling these games with you.
Well, Mike, I appreciate it very much. I've enjoyed it very much. And I think a lot of us as young boys growing up, loving the game, certainly would have loved to be in these same positions.
That pitch misses low. Date myself, Steve, when I was a sophomore in high school, way back in 1981, I had the pleasure to play in a championship game with East Boston High and come out on the victorious side of that one, state champs in 1981. That pitch is a strike, 1-1. So that was my sophomore year in high school, and the next 2 years weren't quite as fortunate. But
my sophomore year was the championship at Londonderry. That was '83.
Taylor swings and fouls one out of play. Hit off the one of the luxury boxes there. Oh, did it hit? I think it hits. It didn't hit somebody. It just missed somebody and hit the glass. Wow. A pretty good Goffstown contingent up there. I see Jim Hyzak up there and a couple of other folks. So 1-2 to French here. Lead off the 5th. He takes a ball in the dirt. 2-2. So Taylor looking to help himself out. Mrs. Skokie just joined us in the booth. Hi, Lisa.
Hi there.
Real estate agent extraordinaire. Here comes the 2-2 to Taylor. That misses outside.
Those are good takes.
Grab me that bottle of water, please. No, please. Oh. Thank you. Needed to, I'm getting a little dry here. I need some more water.
3-2 the count on French.
3-2 to French here. And that misses inside, and there's a leadoff walk to Taylor French. So 6-pitch at bat for Taylor French. So Bobby Doherty getting us in. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner here. It may be Ben Dodge running for Taylor French. Ben is, and he's taken his shin pads off. So Ben has been the, designated pinch runner. It's usually for Tyler, and it's usually later in the game. But Ben Dodge now pinch running for Taylor French, and I'm sure Taylor's not coming out of the game. We just don't want him to hurt himself running the bases again, Steve.
No kidding. No kidding.
So Taylor's been on base twice, 2 walks and a strikeout. Same line for Tyler Santoro, 2 walks and a strikeout. And he throws over there. Very small lead, but he almost threw it away as well. So I'm hoping the line can do what our pitchers have done, Hyzak and French have done, and give a free base. The big difference that shows me on the scoreboard out there, Steve, is that 4 in the errors column for Goffstown. Although it hasn't led, it's only led to 1 unearned run. He squares to bunt, and Bobby fouls it at the plate. So Dodge, Yeah.
One earned,
Penn takes
one
off, but-
unearned run, but a lot more batters faced,
Oh, yeah.
a lot more
Yep.
pitches thrown, a lot
more
stress
high-pressure pitches, yep.
thrown out of the stretch.
Bobby Doherty singled in the second, with an RBI and grounded to second. Third baseman way in on the grass, squares the bunt. He's got Dodge picked off. But he
just
stopped.
Keep running.
If he just kept going, he might have had that. Here comes Goodrich running him down. Dodge is doing the best he can. Too many throws, and he's going to run out of gas. So he's out 2-3 to
A bunch of
6
other
to 3, 2-3 to 4-3 to 6. Not what you want to see. Doherty pulled it back. Dodge got caught. If Dodge took off right away and kept going, he might have been safe.
Well, it's one of those things, like a lot of times you see runners who are picked off at first base by the pitcher and just keep running.
Right,
and,
you have to.
Really, the fastest way to get there is a straight line and just run.
Right.
So
2-1 now to Bobby. It's unfortunate Goffstown erases their runner. So, we talked about errors, and there's a base running error by Goffstown. So if you could put a 5 up on the board for a base running error, there would be a 5 up there now. But 6-6, top of the 5th inning. Ben Dodge just picked off first base on a fake bunt attempt by Bobby Doherty. So now Bobby with a 2-1 count. And he hits a ground ball again off the plate, a high hopper that's going to bounce. Second baseman comes up, nice throw, and gets him. So a great play by the second baseman there. And just like that, there's 2 outs now. So Goffstown with a leadoff runner on, and now that's been erased, and now there's 2 outs and nobody on base. And here comes Will Susi.
Man, it's unbelievable how many baseballs are hit into the dirt about within probably a foot of the plate that are bouncing straight up in the air. It's got to be concrete in front of that plate.
Yeah.
That's a nice play by the second baseman on that.
Yeah,
though.
heck of a play.
Miles Sargent.
And here's a ground ball by Will in the hole. Nice backhand by Malilo. Long throw off the bag. He wasn't going to get him anyway. So second hit of the game for Will Susi. He's now 2 for 2 and had a sacrifice fly. I'm screwing my entire book up over here.
Oh, yeah, this is a mess over here.
So Will is 2 for 2. He had a sac fly RBI. He stole second base his last time up. He led off with a base hit. Here's Ethan Smith. He walked.
That pickoff.
And here's a throw over to first base.
That pickoff with the
was huge.
missed bunt attempt is looming large right now.
At worst, Ben goes to second on Ethan's ground ball, and at worst, he's at third base right now on Wilt's base hit. And it actually puts a little more pressure on Malila fielding that ball.
Exactly.
So here's Ethan now. Ethan, that's a ground ball to third.
Diving
What a
stop
play by the third baseman.
What
great
a play by LaRue
Some
Porter.
great defense right there.
Sensational play by the
Great
third baseman.
defense gets Lalane out of the inning. And I tell you, Goffstown flashed the leather with a couple of outfield outs, and you're not going to see a better play than that by a third baseman.
That was a fantastic play.
LaRue
laid
Porter.
out completely. So as sloppy as this game has been at times, there's been some absolutely sparkling defensive plays put up by both sides.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of highlight reel defensive plays, and I think all the jitters are gone right now, Steve. I think that's out of there, and those jitters have kind of passed, and we're into a game now where it may just be the next run that that settles this game, and we're into the bottom of the 6th inning here. So obviously Portsmouth with 3 at bats to Goffstown's 2. We have 7, 8, 9 coming up right here. Drew Hudson, who singled and struck out. Aaron Lundgren, who walked twice, and Jacob Grant, who grounded to second for an RBI and singled, a bunt single his last time up. So 7, 8, 9, but they've been on base 4 of their 6 at bats.
There's been a lot of traffic on the bases tonight.
You think? So Taylor coming out for his 2nd inning of work. He only threw 15 pitches. Right now, Lalane has thrown 30 through 2 innings, 18 in the 4th and 12 that last inning in the 5th. And it could have been a lot worse for him, Steve.
Yeah.
Save for that pickoff of Ben Dodge on first base. So I'm trying to get updates to our boss back in the studio, Adam McCune, but my phone's not working. It's already failed to send 4 or 5 messages to him. And again, we apologize for our overlay on our computer. not working today. So we're trying to do our best to keep you updated as to what's going on. Drew Hudson stepping in. First time facing Taylor French. Here comes the pitch from Taylor. Fastball right down the middle for a strike. So Steve, it's turned into a barn burner. It looked like it may be a laugher early. Bottom one, it was 5-0 Portsmouth, but by the time we got to the bottom of the second, it was 5-4. Fastball misses outside.
Yeah, it's unreal. The path you get to some of these results, you would never dream up in a million years. But here we are, 6-6.
I thought it'd be a close game, but I didn't think it would be 6-6.
No.
Oh, that's not a balk because there's nobody on base. He wasn't comfortable. I mean, the Portsmouth bench is up and yelling, but that's okay. You can do that when you're going from the windup with nobody on base.
Looked like he caught a spike on that.
Yeah, the umpires are looking at each other, but it's nothing. You can do that. That's not an illegal play. It's just like the batter calling timeout at the plate. It's not illegal for a pitcher to stop himself in a windup with nobody on base. So what he did was not illegal. That pitch misses outside. Taylor, he's trying to find a way to hurt himself, I guess. Trying to do it on the bases and now trying to do it on the mound.
He called that a strike.
Did he?
Yep.
Oh, man. Okay, I'll take it. 1-2 to Hudson here. Curveball's got him. Oh, what a great pitch. That's three. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh,
stayed upstairs, apparently.
Wow. All right, so give it and take it away on the next pitch. So it's 2-2. And I marked that backwards K a little too fast. And there's a line drive that's going to hang up for Carter Schwinard. He makes the grab. If you're going to hit a ball, hit it right there because he doesn't drop many, and there's not many that he can't get to. So it's not 3 consecutive strikeouts for Taylor, but 3 in a row put down by Taylor. So I think that's the longest streak by a Goffstown pitcher today, 3 consecutive outs. Actually, no, they had 3 outs before. Hyzak had 2 to end the fourth, and then French had 1, 2 to end the third, and French had 1 to start the fourth. So this is the longest streak they've had so far. There's a strike.
Well, you're reaching when you're trying to find a streak longer than 3.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So the first time they've gotten more than 3, they've gotten 3 batters out at the same time in a row.
Aaron Lundgren, the left fielder at bat, he's walked twice. Hasn't scored.
Nope. It's funny, Steve. The bottom of the order, they've been on base 4 of their 6 at-bats, but they haven't scored at all because all the damage has been done up top.
Well, and there's not been a lot of hitting.
Hasn't been a lot of hits, you're right. But Lundgren's been on base twice with 2 walks. This takes a high pitch for a ball. It's 1-1. I thought it would be a little cooler up here, Steve, but, I'm not really complaining. I had a sweatshirt earlier, and I lent it to our trusty cameraman who's down there in left field, Tom Lizotte, who I'm sure is doing a great job. 1-1 now to Lundgren. Curveball, great pitch. Oh, I tell you, that was the same exact pitch he just threw to Hudson, and it was called a ball. And Lundgren totally gave up on that. And those are the ones that we talked about that start at the batter and end up right over the plate. If you just hang in there, it's almost a hanger. Curveball and a little nubber to second base. He just threw the bat out there and a pop to Clay. So
Campbell comes in on the edge of the grass, makes the catch.
So we've now hit our longest streak of outs for Goffstown pitching of 4. So I don't know if Portsmouth has had anything. He went 1, 2, 3 in the first. I don't think that they've had very many in a row. Steve, I'm not seeing it. I only see the 1, 2, 3 in the first. Would they put consecutive outs together?
No, there hasn't been. There's nothing clean about this game.
There's been a lot of, like you said, activity on the bases, a lot of traffic on the bases. Jacob Grant, the catcher now, 1 for 2, bunt single, and an RBI ground out in the first inning. So that's only pitch number 10 this inning for Taylor French, and he's got 2 down.
I got him at 11. That was 11.
Okay, I may have missed
5,
one. I'm
4,
sure.
And 2.
Okay, I'm just knocking the pitches, not doing balls or strikes. I'm trying to keep up here as we're coming up on an hour and 48 minutes into this game, and we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Seemed like it was going to take a lot longer the way the first inning and a half went. There's a strike poured over the outside corner. 2-1 now to Jacob Grant. Must say, though, Steve, the umpire has been, he's been fairly consistent down there. We may not agree with the calls, but he's been fairly consistent. Curveball, a beautiful pitch.
Him backing out of
I tell you, that's the 3rd time this inning he's had the batter buckling or diving out of the way. And I really love Taylor French's curveball right now.
It's quite the pitch.
He came in. His first batter was against Peyton Goodrich, the 3-hitter. He's at the bottom of the order right now, and Jacob Grant, the 9-hitter. Fastball struck him out. So we still have a tie ball game at the bottom of the 5th inning.
So French retires the side in order in the 5th, 1-2-3 on 14 pitches. He's thrown 29 pitches in his 2 innings of work. And we're still tied 6-6 here as we go to the 6th inning. And like I said, if anybody guessed the path of this game leading to where we are now, I'd be shocked. 2 of the best pitchers in Division II were not around very long. We're into the bullpens. We're into tired arms potentially and kids that have thrown on shorter rest than they're used to. And here we are, 6-6 going to the 6th. Through 5 innings, Goffstown's left 5 runners on base. Portsmouth has left 6. Ooh, there's a wild warm-up pitch that missed the catcher by about 8 feet. Oscar Laline back out for his 3rd inning of work. He's had 30 pitches in the first 2 innings.
Yep, and Taylor French has thrown 29 for his 2 innings. And Goffstown will send Carter Schwinnard and then the top of the order. So, Steve, as I'm looking through the line here, through 5 full innings, Portsmouth has brought 27 men to the plate. Goffstown has brought 26 men to the plate. So you can't get any more even. And, need we remind you again, last year in the semifinals, Portsmouth, Goffstown, it took 9 innings to decide the game. So, for my health's sake, I hope maybe it doesn't go that far. And if it does, I hope Goffstown comes up on the plus side. But, it's a 2-inning game right now.
It is. And this is, it's funny. It's been so loose. There's been so many things going on. And here we are knotted at 6 with 2 innings to play.
Carter takes a ball inside that breaks off the mid of Grant. So Carter walked and stole second in the 2nd inning and came around to score and laid down a beautiful sacrifice bunt his last time up, which put runners on scoring position that both came around to score. One via a walk and another pitch inside, and Carter had to dance away out of that one. So it's 2-0 to Carter, and I'll tell you what, he's a great guy to get on first base with nobody on there, with nobody in front of him, and Connor Hyzak in the on-deck circle. And Carter hits a ground ball to short. Malila fails it cleanly. High throw off the bag, but he comes down on the bag. So Malila, high throw. Goodrich jumped and snagged it and retires Carter Schwinnard.
Well, there's the benefit of getting rid of the ball quick.
Yep.
Because he had time to go up and get the throw at first and come down on the bag.
And he needed that, too, because Carter runs really well.
Malila's very smooth over there at shortstop.
I'm not sure, I'm not knocking Carter, believe me. He's been hitting the ball well, but 2-0, I'm not sure I like that swing there, but you know what? He put the ball in play hard. He hit the ball hard, and he was very close to getting on base. So here's Connor Hyzak now. Hyzak is 1 for 2. He struck out, had a 2 RBI single in the big 2nd inning for Goffstown, and then walked his last time up. There's the 1-0 to Connor, and Connor hits a pop-up. It's coming behind the plate. Grant.
Nobody's going to get that.
LaRue Porter and Grant were looking at each other. That's LaRue Porter's ball all day long. But it's not going to show up as an error on the books, but mental error there for Portsmouth. And giving a batter like Connor Hyzak a second chance after, it could have been 2 quick outs for Portsmouth there.
That's that ball is just about equal distance from third as it is from the catcher's position. And
yeah, but that's a much tougher play for the catcher to make.
Much tougher. But the way the ball was being read, I think Grant might have had a better shot at that.
Agreed. Yeah, LaRue Porter didn't look like he saw it right away, and I think he thought that Grant was going to take it. A la Tyler Santoro the other night when he ran 70 feet up the first baseline to catch a pop-up.
That was one
in
of
Fairground.
That catch by Santoro in the semifinal game was about as far from home plate you'll ever see a catcher make a catch on a batted ball.
And Hyzak strikes out swinging. So he goes down for the second time tonight. And just like that, there's 2 outs now. So, pitching is starting to take over here, Steve, in a game that, pitching was questionable on both sides, save for the first inning by Van Allen when he got a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah.
We've only had our second 1-2-3 inning that bottom half of the 5th of Portsmouth when Taylor got a 1-2-3, and that pitch misses inside to Campbell.
Well, Lean's been efficient. Whether it's been a runner getting on base or not, he's been efficient. He's not throwing a lot of pitches here. Most of these guys a decision is being made within 3 pitches on it for the most part.
Right. So that's only 9 pitches so far. Swinard swung at a 2-0 pitch. He had Hyzak 1-2, I believe, and he's now 2-0 to Campbell. Campbell walked, forced in a run. Campbell hits a line drive, base hit to left field. And that's nice to see Clay Campbell get off the snide.
Yeah, and that's not the cleanest hit you'll ever see
Nope.
Clay get, but he fisted that ball inside out, got it between short and third and out onto the outfield grass, and extends the inning for Goffstown. Runner at first with 2 men out. Justin Pinard coming to the plate, who's 0 for 3 with a couple pop-ups and a fielder's choice.
So the fielder's choice did score a run. It was a key ground ball to second base that he beat out the double play. So that was the tying RBI. So that tied the game at 6 for Goffstown. And, no easy inning for Leline. So there's still only been the 1-2-3 inning for Portsmouth, and that was the top of the first inning.
I was just going to say, too, right before Clay hit that ball, you get 2 out of 3 hitters in this inning have been ahead in the count, and you'd like to see some better swings off of those counts, but
goes over to first
Chenard
base.
hit the ball hard, but hit it right into the ground at the shortstop,
Right.
and that's probably going to be a losing proposition most of the time because he's a good shortstop, and Clay didn't have the cleanest of contact there on a 2-0 pitch. So
Yep.
Leline is still being effective in the strike
Justin
zone.
hits a ground ball to second. It's bobbled, and there's
the
a first
error.
error for Portsmouth. And let's see if Tyler can make that hurt now. That's a huge error right now. The first one.
That potentially is large.
That could be large, and let's see if Tyler can make him pay here.
And that's Miles Sargent with the runner breaking from first base.
Yeah, that's
and
tough.
Campbell, he's looking at the baseball. He's looking at the runner.
There's a
He's
visit.
looking at, do I want to get the force at second?
Yep.
And he
a lot
did
of
none
things
the
going
above.
through his mind. Yeah. So the first error. So the 0 is now replaced out there, and a visit to the mound. I think he's just trying to. Settle his team down. Now he's bringing the whole infield in, just trying to settle him down. Great move here by Hopley. So you have Clay Campbell at second base, Justin Pinard at first base, and Tyler Santoro stepping into the batter's box. And Tyler's been one of the hottest hitters throughout these playoffs so far. Struck out his last time up after he hit a laser down the third base line, on the left field line, that was just fouled by about 5 feet. That probably would have cleared the bases. But once again, he comes up with 2 men on. He's walked twice already, scored a run. So the congregation on the mound has broken up, and we're getting ready to play again. The line's only thrown 11 pitches so far. Home plate umpire sweeps the dirt off the plate. Taylor French in the on-deck circle. Would love to see Goffstown take the lead here. So Tyler stepping in, taking his practice swings. The line working from the stretch. Justin at first. Clay at second. That pitch misses outside for a ball. One ball, no strikes to Tyler. Timeout called at the plate by the catcher, Grant. Runs out to the mound to talk to his pitcher. I think he may have been a little off. One ball count to Tyler. Clay with the decent lead over there. No one holding him on at second base. Here comes the 1-0. Tyler fists one. Oh, right back to the pitcher. He got jammed and fisted right back to the pitcher. So that ends the threat for Goffstown. Unfortunate there. He had a good pitch to hit, but he got him on the fists. And Goffstown leaves 2 men on again.
Yeah, that's 7 men left on base through 6.
So we now go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and we're still tied 6-6. Taylor French going back out to the mound. So the error by Portsmouth does not come back to haunt them. So we still only have one of the 12 runs being unearned. I tell you, Steve, we went from parade around the bases to pitching taking over here. Although Goffstown has had runners on every inning except for the first. And Portsmouth had runners on base every inning except for the last inning.
Correct.
So we've played 5.5 innings, so that's 11 at-bats, and there's only been 2 clean innings. And that's what good teams do, Steve.
Yeah.
You know, this is the 1 and 2 seed going at it here.
But runs are looking like they're a little harder to come by now than they were early on.
So Taylor is in great shape. He's only thrown 29 pitches through 2 innings, whereas Lalane was at 30 through 2, now at 43 through 3. So the pitching has definitely cooled down, Steve. Lalane threw 18 in that part, his part of the 4th, and then 12 and 13, and French has only thrown 15 and 14. So, you know, you get away from that 50 and 30 pitch inning. All the rest have been 19 or less.
Yeah, that was the uncharacteristic start that we had, and things have started to settle down here quite a bit.
Let's see how French fares against the top of the order. Here's Cal Hewitt, who was absolutely robbed by Will Soucy. I think he's Goffstown's #1 star right now. He made a fantastic play in right field. And he bunts, and here comes Ethan. Ethan feels it, quick throw, does not, and it gets by Justin. And there's Soucy backing it up. So Hewitt with the bunt, and he's on second base. So a base hit and an error. A 5th error of the game for Goffstown.
That should be an out. That play has to be made.
Agreed. So they gave him a hit, as we thought, and an error. So just the 5th hit. And Hewitt, who can fly. Ethan got a pretty good jump on it. The ball was bunted hard, and if he fails it cleanly, makes a good throw, he's out. And I don't think the throw was horrible.
No.
I mean, Justin could have scooped that, and if he scoops it cleanly, he's out.
Well,
I think you're almost going to see Malila bunt here. I mean, I would be shocked if he doesn't, and you get that runner at third base with less than 2 outs. But he got robbed by Carter Schwannard. His last up, he hit a bullet into the gap. And he swings away and hits a ground ball foul past his third base coach. So just 2 pitches so far for Taylor, and he's in trouble. And let's see, you know, this is where you don't want to let up that lead run in the bottom of the 6th inning where you only got 1 at-bat left.
Well, Portsmouth trying to,
There's the bunt now, and he bunts it foul. So that's what I thought he was going to do because, 1 run is huge right now. And if you get Hewitt to third base with less than 2 outs, Malila now looking at worst to make a productive out here. He doesn't want to strike out. We want him to strike out and leave Hewitt at second base.
Well, Portsmouth trying to apply some pressure, and it really comes down to, as it often does in these games, is how do you do under pressure versus how do we do under pressure?
Correct. So 0-2 to Malila. Fastball misses outside. Nice pitch.
Good spot for that.
Yep, good spot. Yep, it was outside. So 6 runs on 5 hits and 5 errors now for Goffstown. 6 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for Portsmouth. French looks in, steps off.
I'm not sold 100% on giving Hewitt a hit on that.
Yeah,
because the throw beat him.
Agreed. It's a bang play. There's a ground ball to short. It's going to get him to third. Out, he boots it. And the runner, Hewitt stops there. And the 6th error of the ball game for Goffstown. And now you're in huge trouble with first and third and no outs. And, you have to bring the infield in here. I think, with Hewitt at third base, Steve, I don't think you chance throwing down. He's got great speed. And unless you do some kind of a cut play,
well,
unlike
a cut
when
player
Goffstown
just
did,
throw to third, try to get him being too aggressive on it, something that you haven't shown before.
But Goffstown is in serious trouble right now.
Yeah.
6 errors. You're not going to win many games making 6 errors.
No. And just as we said, how it's been difficult for runners and runs, They're on the brink of.
And there's a strike.
They're on the brink of putting something together here after back-to-back errors on the first 2 hitters of this inning.
You know, Steve, with the infield playing in like this, it's hard for someone to cover second base. I mean, Clay can't get there where he is, and Connor's going to have a tough time. And now Connor moves back. He's playing double play depth, and so is Clay. So maybe they're thinking of making a throw down to second base here. Malila looks like he's ready to take off.
Yeah, he's got a big lead.
Curveball, little roll to third. Ethan goes to second and gets the out. So he cuts down Malila. Unbelievable throw there by Ethan. I mean, what a chance he took going to second base, and a great play because it keeps the force on. And that was Goodrich who hit that. But, man, if he doesn't get Malila at second base, then the bases are loaded with no outs. And now you got Jack Russo, who singled off of Taylor French. He was the second batter to face Taylor, and he singled. And then
in the infield, yep.
In the infield, yeah, it was another one of those plate balls, and then went to second on an error by Taylor. Curveball for a strike. Oh, he didn't call it a strike. It's a ball. And he leaned into that, Steve.
Yep.
You know, he's crowding the plate, and Taylor's curveball has been coming that way.
Remember a couple hours ago when we saw something like that earlier?
2 hours and 5 minutes into this one, and it was probably right about this time. There goes the runner, no throw. So I guess we'll give fielders indifference there, defensive indifference for that one. Well, yeah, I'll give him a stolen base because they didn't even try. So second and third, 2-ball count to the hitter Russo here, who's 1 for 2. And the infield is in all the way around. They have to come home if Hewitt breaks. There's a strike poured across the outside corner, 2-1 now.
That's what made that play from Ethan such a tough play, but it's such a good play because Hewitt read the play, fisted him to third. Ethan had to pay attention to him, and then looks up and makes a quick throw to second to get the force.
Right.
Momentarily keeping that runner out of scoring position, but with the steal, now you're second and third with 1 out.
So Taylor's only thrown 9 pitches in this inning to these 3 batters. Has not had luck from his defense so far. Curveball in there for a strike. What a pitch! And now it's 2-2.
Boy, a
so
strikeout
Russo,
would be
a strikeout
huge
here would be huge. Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth. A strikeout or a ground ball hit right at somebody. Even still, you still got to make a clean throw to first base, and then Justin has to watch that runner, and then if he takes off, he's going to make a clean throw home. So a lot could happen. I think Carter's a little too deep in center field. And he struck him out
with a fastball.
Oh, my goodness, with a fastball right by him. Challenge time. And now it's 2 down for Niles Sargent. Miles Sargent, I'm sorry. Is it Miles or Niles? It's Miles, right? I've been calling him Miles all game. Miles is 1 for 3. He's 1 for 2. I'm sorry, he's 0 for 2. He's reached on an error and struck out, and he faced Taylor 2 innings ago in the 4th and struck out swinging. So here comes the pitch, and he swings and misses for a strike. So runner still at second and third. Hewitt at third base and Malila at second base. I'm sorry, that's not Malila. That's Goodrich at second base. 0-1 count to Sargent. And that's 2 strikes. And I'll tell you, if your heart's not pounding right now, you don't have a pulse. He's got him 0-2. It's a good spot for the curveball, but you also don't want to throw anything in the dirt here, Steve.
No.
The Goffstown faithful are stomping their feet. French has 0-2, and he misses high. Sargent takes a high ball there.
Not a bad spot for that.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Change the eye level, get it up and in.
Look. And I've been saying to you all game, Steve, I don't usually sit down, and I know why. Here comes the pitch, and he fouls it back. So on pitch number 15 of the inning from Taylor French, Sargent fouls one back, and the count stays at 1-2.
Mike,
umpires calling for some new balls.
Mike, if you weren't sitting down during this broadcast, you would have walked 9 miles already.
You got that right. Here comes the 1-2 again. Fastball fouled off into the same spot. Just got a piece of it. So a good battle brewing here. 1-2 to Niles Sargent. He walked in the first inning and that brought in a run. Reached on an error by the shortstop that brought home a run and struck out his last at bat with the runner on second base. Big situation right here for Sargent.
Yeah, here we are. Bottom of the 6th inning. Score is tied 6-6.
6-6.
Portsmouth with runners at 2nd and 3rd. 2 men out. 2-2 count, or 1-2 count, I'm sorry, on Sargent.
French gets the sign. Here comes the pitch.
There's a curveball. He struck him out looking.
And he's got him looking, and it leaves the 2 runners on base.
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness.
Back-breaking, knee-buckling curveball from
Oh,
French.
my goodness. What a money pitch right there.
The Goffstown faithful are going crazy on the
bananas.
first base side.
Absolutely bananas. Oh, and throws his helmet into the dugout. I think that was Malila. But talk about 2 huge strikeouts, Steve, with 2nd and 3rd and 1 out.
Man, I don't know how many times you can go to the well and say, defense is going to let you down and you're going to have to pay for it. Taylor French says, you know what, I got this, boys.
I think I'm going to have a heart attack, I'll tell you. First they had 1st and 2nd, right? Sorry, they had 1st and 3rd.
1st and 3rd,
First
nobody
and
out.
3rd,
First
nobody
2
out.
batters of the inning.
And then a ground ball to Ethan that he went to 2nd. So that was the first out. They still had 1st and 3rd. Goodrich stole 2nd on defensive indifference, and then consecutive strikeouts by Russo and Sargent.
But see, that's why I don't think that's indifference there, because it takes the force play off, and you're still less than 2 outs with a chance to get a run home on something that's an out.
Oh, I agree. But the reason I call it defensive indifference is because they didn't even try to get him.
Right.
So, it's a stolen base. But, and then we talked about this earlier after Susie made that grab and Carter made that grab. Look who's leading us off, Taylor French. I tell you.
The baseball gods know what they're talking about.
So, last year's game was very similar. I don't think it was quite this dramatic where, I know for a fact that one team wasn't down 5 runs, but it was I think the final score of that game was 5-4, if I'm not mistaken. But that game went 9 innings, like I said, Steve, and we're over 2 hours now, 2 hours and 11 minutes. Taylor French getting a standing ovation from the Goffstown faithful behind the first base dugout. And I would love to see him get on base to start us off here. He wouldn't be able to be pinch run for, because that already happened. And he swings and misses. I want to see Goffstown put some pressure on the line here.
Well, he's been very cool on the mound. He's very efficient.
He has.
Doesn't get too deep in counts, and things are happening one way or the other.
Both of the relief pitchers, Steve, have not allowed a run. The 2 runs that scored on the line were courtesy of Van Allen.
Right.
They were runners that were left on base. So these 2 guys, over so far the 2 and a half innings they've played, have not let up a run. So we could be playing for a while with these 2 guys on the mound. Goffstown, 6 runs, 5 hits, 6 errors. I'm not sure what kind of sign that'll be if he gets a hit here. That'll be 6-6-6 across the board. Here comes the 1-2 to Taylor, and it hit him! So Taylor will take first base. So Goffstown with the lead runner on again. How many times can it happen, Steve?
Just when you don't see something coming, it happens right in front of your eyes. And
a 1-2 pitch.
Unbelievable.
You know something, though, Steve? I'm looking back here, and that's the first walk or something since Taylor walked against Lalline in the 5th inning. There's been no walks. Taylor hasn't walked anybody. Lalline's only walked the 1, and that was Taylor. And now he hits Taylor. Maybe he doesn't like him. Bobby Doherty squares. Oh, he's got Taylor. Oh, no. You got to be careful here. It already happened once.
Well, I said it a couple innings ago. These teams are both well coached, and even though there's been mistakes made, there's been walks, and there's been all kinds of things going on, it doesn't take away from the ability of these teams to make plays.
Yep.
And you've got to be on your toes at all times.
Sorry, Steve. That was a ball to Bobby Doherty. So Bobby was squaring around. He does again, and he fouls it at the plate. So it's now 1-1. So if we keep up here, we get 12 runs, we get 10 hits, and we have 7 errors, Steve. We could have a triple-double here.
I was thinking the same thing. That's not a triple-double you
want
to record.
Not at all. As long as the errors continue on the bottom side of the board, I'll be happy. There's a bunt at the plate. That's a good one. Grant coming out. He has to turn, fire to first.
He beat it. He beat it.
A beautiful bunt by Bobby Doherty, and it's a base hit. And now there's first and second for Goffstown with nobody out. And Will Susie coming to the plate. And Will is 2 for 2 with the sacrifice fly.
There's that cement in front of the plate again, Mike.
Oh, did you see that? That thing was 20 feet in the air, and then it rolled, and then it didn't just go straight up. It continued out. Grant was the only one, but Grant fielded it and then turned his back towards first base, turned all the way around, pirouetted, and his throw was late. So Susie is up.
Grant actually made a pretty decent play on that ball right there.
Oh, he made a great play, Steve.
But that's just a matter of I can run 90 feet faster than you can make that throw.
It, right. I mean, good speed by Doherty, but I think you're going to see Susie bunting here.
Goodrich is
and here it comes, and he takes a ball.
Got to cover up as a runner here.
French has to be careful out there because Grant will throw the ball. You know, he's not going to throw to first, obviously, but you don't want Taylor to get too far away. And, you know, Susie has to bunt this ball to third base, down the third base line, because Goodrich is in his back pocket by the time the pitch comes in. Here it comes. There's the bunt, and he gets it out in front of the pitcher. He's going to do his job. Here's the throw. High throw, but he gets him.
Play by Sargent.
So Goffstown now with second and third in one out, and you got Ethan Smith coming up. So now you got Will Susie, who's 2 for 2. He's had a sacrifice bunt and a sacrifice fly, and he's made a spectacular catch in right field. So now Goffstown has second and third and less than 2 outs, and the pressure's now on the Portsmouth defense. And here's Ethan Smith. Ethan Smith is a great contact hitter. He puts the ball in play. Goffstown has good speed on the bases. Portsmouth is got to play infield in here.
Smith has flied to right, walked and scored, grounded to third on an absolute.
And he gets a ground ball to short. Malila looks to run it back, and he makes a throw. And on the first pitch, Ethan Smith grounds out to short. Oh, my. The one place you don't want to hit the ball. On the first pitch, the boots. And now there's 2 outs, and it's up to Carter Schwinnard. Carter's walked, he sacrificed bunted, and he grounded to short. And I'll tell you what, Steve, look at where that third baseman's playing. Look where LaRue Porter is playing. And if Carter could get a bunt down there, that would score a run. And it's going to be impossible for him to throw him out.
Right, so a couple things happen. 2 outs, the infield gets to move back, have a lot more time to make a play. But you've got the fastest kid in the Goffstown lineup at the plate.
Yep, and that misses. I don't know where that missed. That looked like a good pitch. And Grant looking back, too.
Boy, if you could put a bunt up that third base line right now.
I tell you, the only one who would have a chance at it is Lalline. That pitch is outside and brought in, so that was a makeup call for the pitch before. It's 1-1 to Carter Schwinnard. Second and third, 2 outs, 6-6 ball game, top of the 7th. Connor Hyzak looming in the on-deck circle. Here comes the 1-1. Curveball misses.
Stays inside.
It's 2-1. So Lalline, I'll tell you, he's a cool cucumber out there, Steve. You've said it earlier.
He isn't. Even fielding the bunt and just throwing to first.
Yeah.
I mean, he just he looks calm.
And he's a sophomore. That misses. So it's 3-1 now to Carter Schwinnard. He's in danger of loading the bases for Connor Hyzak. And I just checked the book, and Lalline is a sophomore. And this is a lot of pressure on a sophomore. We saw how our sophomore handled it, and nothing against Connor Hyzak. Started this game, went 3 innings. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Carter Schwinnard. And it misses. Oh. Thought that missed, but got the outside corner. So the count is now full, and the runners won't be off because they're not forced.
Several hundred people here thought that missed.
Yeah,
too.
It was a ball. Yeah, the whole right side of the field thought it was a ball. The left side of the field thought it was a strike. So the count's now full, and you hate to see Carter take a third strike here now. Got to be up there swinging.
Yep.
Here comes the pitch. And he hits a high chopper up the middle. Malila fields it, the throw, and he's got him. That ball wasn't as slowly hit as some of the others. And we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, 6-6. Oh, my.
Goffstown
Boy, I
leaves
tell you
on
that
two more runners.
2 more.
On
That's
base.
3 innings in a row. They left 2 men on base. I tell you, that ball stays in the air another second, and Carter is safe. What a great job by Lalline. What a great job by French. What a great ball game.
Yeah, this is something else. Well, here we go.
Here we
Bottom
go.
of the 7th, championship on the line.
You know, we need extra innings to win, Steve.
Yep.
I'll tell you what. You know, it hasn't been easy. Excuse me. These last couple of innings, the top of the 6th, the bottom of the 6th. Talk about high-pressure situations, right? You know, 7 errors in this ball game, 11 hits, and when they have to make the plays, Steve, they're making the plays. You know, the errors may get them into situations, but when they have to make the play to get themselves out of the innings, they're making the plays. Taylor French has not yet come out to the mound. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, he was on base, Steve. Never mind. You're probably getting a drink or something. I know I can use one. It's now 9:45. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes into this one so far. I hope we have enough battery left in our cameras. What a ball game! This is how a championship game is supposed to be, Steve.
Something like this.
Unbelievable game, I tell you. If you had told me, Steve, after the first inning, or even after the end of the second inning, that the score was going to be 6-6 at the end of the sixth inning, and it was 6-4 at that time, I would have said you were crazy. I also would have said you were crazy if it was 6-4 after 2.
Yeah.
Portsmouth has not scored since the second inning. Goffstown has not scored since the fourth. If it comes to this, Goffstown has the top of the order coming up in Connor Hyzak. So let's see what happens. So my cameraman's telling me there's only 19 minutes of recording time left. I hope he's wrong. So hopefully that's not the case. If it is, it is. What are you going to do? We got another camera out in left field. We'll just have to go plug in down there, Steve. So here comes, sorry, Steve. Here comes Hunter LaRue Porter. He's 0 for 3 today. Did reach base once on a fielder's choice and scored. He takes a pitch low for a ball. You don't want the leadoff runner on here. Ethan Smith is on the grass, and that pitch misses inside. It's now 2-0.
Well, Portsmouth needs to push a run across here to
win the championship.
Their second in a row.
Yep. Here comes the pitch. Curveball misses badly, and it's 3-0, and he's on the verge of putting the leadoff runner on first base, which would lead to Drew Hudson probably bunting, which would lead to pressure situations. Squares to bunt. There's no way he's bunted and takes a strike.
I'll see if French can get back into this count here and compete on this batter.
That would be nice. 3-1 count now to LaRue Porter. And he takes a strike, and there's the competition you're talking about, Steve.
Yep.
These pitchers have been battling all the way. I mean, they've been clean. This has been a clean game since the bottom of the fourth inning. And he misses outside. He ends up walking him on a full count. So Portsmouth with the leadoff runner on first base. Here we go again. Can Taylor do it again? Drew Hudson, he singled, struck out, and flew to center field. See how they played this here.
That's the first walk for French, too.
Yep, first walk. Ooh, pitch in the dirt.
Nice stop by Santoro.
Good stop by Tyler, keeping that runner at first base.
Drew Hudson is singled, struck out, and flied to center. Knocked in a run in the first. He bunts.
There's the bunt up the first base line. Too hard, foul. Interesting. He didn't square on the first pitch. Bunts that one pretty hard.
Yeah, that was a line drive he hit there on that bunt.
So it's 1-1 to Hudson. Decent side lead over the first base by LaRue Porter. Not going, squares. Justin charges. So Justin's kind of holding him on and then charging after the fact.
Boy, I don't know. I want to think that pitch has been a strike.
It's been a strike most of the night. Yep. That's a strike. It's almost the same pitch, Steve, and now it's 2-2.
Yeah,
so I think that takes the bunt off.
The 1-1 pitch was better than that one.
I agree.
But either way, we're 2-2.
You know, I wonder if Hopley here would risk bunting with 2 strikes.
I don't know if he would based on what I saw in that first bunt attempt.
True.
He
swings and it's a ground ball, base hit to right field. So he fails to get the bunt down, but then comes up with a base hit. So pressure again, first and second, and no outs. And Aaron Lundgren, the batter.
The ball was hit hard through the right side.
Yeah, absolutely was.
Here we go again.
Yep,
first and second,
no outs.
Nobody out. Lundgren has walked twice and popped to second.
And he's almost surely going to be bunting here. I can't imagine he wouldn't be.
Right.
You just hope he bunts it hard and right back to Taylor.
Goffstown trying to move the outfielders
Ooh,
in.
pitch in the dirt. Nice stop by Tyler.
Tyler wasn't sure he had that.
Ugh. I can't handle this anymore, Steve. I was hoping for a nice clean inning here. Another pitch misses outside, so he's now 2-0 to the 8-hitter, Lundgren. And I'll tell you, one way or another, maybe Cal Hewitt's coming up this inning unless they get a double play.
Yep.
And that's one guy you don't want to see come up with the game on the line.
Santoro takes a walk out to the mound.
Yeah, I think that's a good move.
Try to get things back in order here. These situations are large, but it still is one pitch at a time. And, you don't know a line drive with a runner off the bag, double play, a lot of things can happen.
2-0 pitch here. I think if you're not bunting, you got to have him swing away. If he's going to bunt, he's probably taking. He's taking all the way, and there's a strike. So that leads me to believe he's going to bunt here. Because that's a perfect 2-0 pitch.
That's show me you can actually throw a strike.
Right.
Because if you don't, we'll take the runner at third with nobody out eventually.
That's right. And there comes the bunt, and he bunted down the first base line. It's a good one, and it's going to be unfielded. Oh, my goodness. So now you're in huge, huge trouble. No one was covering first base anyway, Steve. Didn't matter who came up with the ball. No one was covering.
Taylor could have caught that ball clean in the air, and nothing would have happened.
Yep. So now you got bases loaded, no outs, and you got Jacob Grant up. And here comes a visit from Lawrence, and this is it, folks. The game is on the line. Bases loaded. So now you look at Goffstown, got the 6-6-6 on the board, and I'm not sure I like that right now. That's not a good sign.
No.
6-7-1 for Portsmouth. So the only runner that means anything right now is LaRue Porter, standing 90 feet away, and that's all that's separating Portsmouth from a second consecutive championship. Jacob Grant grounded out in the first, singled in the third, and struck out in the fifth.
Yeah, and his single was a bunt single.
Bunt single. He does have an RBI. The RBI was a beauty, ground ball that scored a run.
I can't get over how many baseballs have been put in play either by hit or bunt and have landed within a foot of the plate.
So this is it, Steve. This is what it all comes down to. There's 0 out. So
nobody out, bases loaded.
He's got pressure all over him. He can't afford to walk this batter. He can't afford to hit this batter. He can't afford a wild pitch.
Infield
he's got to call the outfield in. The outfield's got to come in as far as their arm can reach. If the ball gets hit over their head, the game's over anyways. It doesn't matter. And he misses high, almost hit him. And wouldn't that be a way to end the game? Tell you what, all kinds of pressure on Taylor French right now. He's behind 1-0 in the count. Steps off the rubber. He can't do what he did. Now he's going to go from the stretch. He can't do what he did earlier from the windup. He misses low, and it's 2-0. Oh, my. This is about as heartbreaking as it could possibly get after scratching back to tie this game. Strike.
There's a strike.
Taken all the way. I mean, it's not going to get any easier. You got Cal Hewitt on deck. Cal singled twice and hit 2 fly balls, so that's enough to get the score, the run in the score. There's a ground ball to short. Hyzak comes up with it. He throws home for 1. Throw to first.
They turn the double play.
They turn a double play. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, my goodness. And now there's 2 outs for Hewitt. A base hit still wins the game, but now they're 1 out away to get out of this. Oh, my goodness. What a play by Goffstown. A perfect strike home by Hyzak and a perfect strike to first base by Santoro. And now you got 2 down and runners at second and third.
Unbelievable. Well,
and probably Portsmouth's best hitter coming up, though. It doesn't get any easier.
I don't know if you inadvertently walk him here.
Well, Malila is 0 for 3. Here's a ground ball to third. Smith up. He has to make a clean throw. It's in the dirt.
And Justin holds up. It stays off the bag. He was on the bag when he fielded that.
Ask the home plate umpire.
He fielded that on the bag.
Ask the home plate umpire to challenge. Lawrence is going out there. They're going to see if they're going to talk. Portsmouth is already celebrating.
He's on the bag when he retrieves the ball.
He was on the bag when he retrieved the ball. He held on to the ball. They're going to talk about it. Portsmouth is already celebrating. The home plate umpire is going out to discuss this. The game's not over yet.
He fell off the bag, certainly, but
he
it was
had
long
the ball.
after
He was
had the
on
ball.
the bag.
He gathered that
and
throw.
I think he's going to call him out, Steve. I think he is.
I think the home plate umpire
he's shaking
had
his
a great
head. I
look at
think
that.
he's going to call him out. He certainly did. He had a much better view than the first base umpire. He could see Justin's foot in the bag. We saw it from here. We have 2 cameras, and maybe we could pick this up if the call doesn't go Goffstown's way. But let's see what happens.
We're going. We should be going to the 8th inning.
And let's see what happens. They're coming over. They're talking to Goffstown first, which leads me to believe they're going to call him safe. Everything hinges on this. What a way to end this game.
No.
Hyzak throws his glove, and they call him safe, and the ball game is over. Oh, my goodness. What a way to end a ball game on an error by Ethan Smith, the 7th error of the game for Goffstown. And Goffstown loses 7-6. Oh, my word. I disagree with the call, Steve. But you know what? The ball was put in play. He had plenty of time to throw him out. The throw was in the dirt. If he makes a good throw, the game's over, and we're playing in the 8th inning. Not the game's over, but we're into the 8th inning. And unfortunately, Ethan short hops the throw, and Goffstown suffers a defeat as painful as you could possibly suffer. I mean, there's no words that can possibly describe the feeling in this loss right now.
Well, for
they battled hard.
Portsmouth getting the victory there, 7-6. That's their 12th title in their program history in baseball. They've won 12 and lost 2 when they've made the final game. Goffstown drops to 5 championship wins and 8 losses in the championship game. What an unbelievable game! What a finish! Boy, I wish I could. I wish there was a better chance to have a look at that play again with Pinard because, we all could see the throw was short hop, and Justin missed a couple balls over there tonight.
And he
but he
made
the play
hand.
there and looked like he pinned that ball against his body while he was still backed up against the bag, and then fell forward and showed that he still had possession of the baseball.
And the umpire called him safe. The umpire is not on the baseline. He's inside the line. And I don't know, Steve. I don't know what kind of angle our cameras had on that. I'm not sure if we could pick that up, but I'd love to see it. And, it doesn't matter. The call was made on the field. The game is over. Portsmouth is back-to-back Division II baseball champions. Goffstown suffers a heartbreaking defeat. Down 5-0 at one point after 1 inning. They came all the way back. And you know what, Steve, though? Their 7th error of the ball game cost them the game. I mean, 7 errors, 6 runs, 6 hits, 7 errors for Goffstown, 7 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for Portsmouth. Yep. And we almost had that ugly triple-double that we talked about. 13 runs, 13 hits, and 8 errors. And, the second unearned run of the game, and it costs Goffstown the championship. And a well-fought game, minus the error, Steve, it's still a well-played game. There was tons of – they had bases loaded, no outs, and they got a double play, a 2-6-3 double play.
Well, and, both bullpens, honestly, both teams only used one pitcher out of their bullpens respectively, but they both made quality pitches, made good pitches, and then there was some actually – among the errors, there was some
great
tremendous defense played in this ball game. And with the bases loaded, nobody out, and nothing seeming to go – in the direction of Goffstown, they somehow come up and turn a 6-2-3 double play and then get a weak ground ball to the third baseman on the next pitch and looked very much like they were going to the 8th inning and we were going to still play some extra innings here. But that call was made safe at first off the bag, and boy, I'll tell you, when this video posts, I'm going to be looking at that because it looked like he had possession of the ball, the bag at the same time, long before Hewitt made it to first base.
Yeah, I'm totally speechless here, Steve. Not the way you wanted to see this game end. It's in the hand of the umpires. Nothing against the Blue Crew. They did a great job.
Right, and you just don't want to see the last play of the game of a championship game, where you have a huddle of the 3 umpires in front of home plate to determine.
Right. It was, it's what happens, it's tough. It's the championship game. You have a team. It's ended up being the winning run. Portsmouth's already celebrating out at shortstop and in short left field. And, what are you going to do, reverse the call and start over again? I mean, that's really tough. If he called him out, it's a different story because you don't have a team celebrating a victory.
Right, I know it's tough, but right is right.
Right is right. It's a tough call to reverse, and we'll never know. I don't know, like you said, I don't know if our cameras picked up where he stepped on the bag or not. I don't know. Probably the best shot would come from our left field camera. I don't know how we got it here in our booth, but I'd really love to see it. I'm sure Justin's going to tell you he held the bag, but.
We had that's a tough one. That's a tough one for sure.
We just saw Goffstown get their runner-up plaque and their runner-up medals, and here comes Portsmouth to collect their championship, second in a row, all with their hair dyed blonde, and a bittersweet moment here. The 10 seniors, they gave it their all. They tried their hardest, and. That's the way their season's going to end, unfortunately. So someone's going to win and someone's going to lose, and not the way I wanted to see the season end, but that's the way it ends.